Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the live stream here of the new episode, Roundtable 143. Welcome if you're joining us in the chat. I don't know. Does it feel like we haven't been here for a minute? I don't know.
It does feel like it's a little bit.
I don't know why.
I think it's because we haven't seen each other at work and everything, so.
No, just even doing prep, it's just like, man, it feels like it's been a while since we've done this. I don't know.
It's only been a fortnight.
Yeah, I don't know. Time's strange. It's all different. Just like
Well, you hit November and time just doesn't matter anymore.
I don't know. Maybe not having like Ahsoka episodes to
Maybe that's what it is.
Make the week go along.
We do have Loki though.
Yeah, it's that one. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but it's like I don't know.
It's not Ahsoka.
It's not Ahsoka. Indeed. But let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started here.
The Dark Tower by Stephen King. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Go then. There are other worlds than these. Death, but not for you, gunslinger. It's time we had our own Palaver, I think, and it's going to take a while.
And yet, dauntless, the slug horn to my lips I set, and blew. Child Roland to the Dark Tower came.
We are content, one from many. Let the Palaver begin.
Hello and welcome to Dark Tower Palaver. This is our podcast covering Stephen King's magnum opus, the Dark Tower series. My name is Tad.
And I'm Peter.
And we're here for Roundtable number 143. Peter's spamming the reaction buttons in the chat. I saw it happening and I'm like, I guarantee that's Peter. Nobody else would do that. That just seems like something Peter would do. And hey, I wasn't wrong. So we are here for Roundtable 143. Let's go ahead and dive into the intro stuff real quick. Hello, everyone that's live with us here in the chat. Glad to have you all with us here. First of all, I want to warn you about spoilers. This is a, see, Carol says she was thinking what was going on as well. See? We want to warn about spoilers. This is a roundtable. We will spoil, potentially, all things Dark Tower. We will also be covering some other Stephen King news. So if you haven't finished the 7 primary books of the Dark Tower series, you may want to check out now and stick to our book club episodes. We have now delved into the 4th book. I'm still pretty excited about that. With those episodes, we stay where we're at or before. We don't jump ahead, except for a very small, I would say, 5% of the episode, probably at the very tail end, where we cover spoilers. It's not a lot. It's a pretty small section usually, but we give you a lot of warning about that. So those are safe episodes. We'll make sure you're warned before we dive into that spoiler section, so you can check out if you are someone that is still on your first trek to the Dark Tower. Next up, you want to find us, you can find us on Apple Podcasting. You can stream us on Spotify or find us on any podcasting service of your choice, including Amazon Music and Audible, which are now doing podcasts. If you want to subscribe, rate, and review us on any of those, we'd appreciate that. If you want to join us live, as we have at least 3 people, I think, in the chat. Peter, I guess, if he counts. But actually, according to the North Central Positronics, aka YouTube, it says we have 8 or 9 people in. It's varying between 8 and 9, so maybe we have more that haven't spoken up yet. But if you want to join us live, like everyone here is, you can find us over here at youtube.com/darktowerpalaver.
Spam the button.
If you do want to join us here, if you could like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, that way if there's ever any changes to the episode. You know what's funny? I don't think we've got through the entire summer and we didn't really have any major changes. I know we had to move at least 1 episode.
Yeah.
But it feels like we at least do 2 or 3 per summer in general, just vacations and stuff that happens.
Why would you say that? You're cursing us
now
that the next 3 episodes have to be moved or something.
It's always the summer. That's always when we really have issues. I mean, not issues, but that's usually when we have the like the things that arise. Usually it's like vacations or whatever the hell it might be,
Yeah.
normal stuff that happens in summer. And I just realized it now. We're no longer in summer, and it just felt like I was still kind of bracing for, hey, there still might be changes. But either way, if there are changes, the notification bell is the way to get notified when we're going live. I usually try to keep at least a month's worth of future episodes planned, and if something comes up with our schedule, I go in and edit it, and I believe it notifies you. If not, you can always go in and look at the upcoming episodes. It'll show you the date and time for all of those. Then if you want to find the show notes, you can do that over at darktowerpalaver.com. That's the hub for all things Dark Tower Palaver. The center post of the spokes of the entire wheel that is Dark Tower Palaver is over there at darktowerpalaver.com. We have all sorts of things, our show notes, but we also have things like the questions for new listeners. If you are a new listener, you are part of our extended quartet now, and we welcome you. And the best way to join a quartet is to tell your story. And those questions are ones that we've kind of cultivated over the years to introduce yourself as a Dark Tower fan and as a Stephen King fan. So you can answer one of those questions. You can answer all those questions. It's totally up to you. If you want to send us a first-time email, that's a good primer for such things. If you want to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. With that, we have our Discord server. We've had a lot of Stephen King talk and Fall of the House of Usher talk in there over the last little bit. We chat in there all the time, as well as
one of our gunslingers just finished reading Carrie for the first time, right? We had a discussion about Carrie's mom.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone loves Carrie's mom, right?
No.
And then if you want to contact us, Peter can let you know the ways to do that.
Best way to reach us is email. We still have our old email up. It's darktowerpalaver@gmail.com. Maybe till the end of the year, maybe into the next year. We don't know. But our new email is show@darktowerpalaver.com. And then on our social media, we have our Twitter, which is @darktowerpod. That's @darktowerpod. And then our Facebook is facebook.com/darktowerpalaver. Our Instagram is darktowerpalaver, all one word. And then check out our merchandise. It's tpublic.com/users/darktowerpalaver. Go pick yourself up a #TadIsTerrible sticker or shirt or pillow or mouse pad.
Or you can grab the real main logo.
Yeah,
as
Tad,
well.
show me that. Where's that? Oh.
Yeah, I have my pillow around here somewhere.
Right.
I'm repping some other merch this episode.
And we're going to talk about that, aren't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can jump on over. Let's see, calendar-wise, I guess I didn't have the calendar open, but I don't know if there's anything too crazy coming up. We've got we are back to where we're having the roundtables in the first episode, book club second, and we are now in the second to last month, so we've only got 5 more episodes, including this one, for the rest of the year.
Jeez.
So I know
3 in December, right?
Yes, there is 3 in December. Roundtable, book club, and then roundtable, which is the year-end bash on the 30th. So that is pretty much what we got coming up. And then let's go ahead or is there anything book reading wise? Have you done any reading recently, or you've been out of the King realm?
I've been out of the King realm. I reread Harry Potter. So.
Oh, okay. And I'm rereading the Dark Tower series.
Yes, you are.
So I am currently in Song of Susanna.
Which one? Which one?
Book 6. I don't know.
Right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
The purple
right
one.
The purple one.
It's pretty fun. I will say I was I have to just say I know there's a lot of people that are mixed on the whole Stephen King showing up. And I totally get everyone has their own opinions and their own views. It's art, it's subjective. But I cannot say that there's any way I can convey in words how much I disagree with people that say they want to take King out of the story. There's people that, just think it's not. It's one of my favorite parts of the series. It is so fucking
You get excited when you get close to it?
Yeah, it's just like I was even cursing because I thought we were getting there, and then it jumped to a Susanna and Mia section first, which I love Susanna.
Yeah.
But it's like I wanted to get to that part, and like then I looked in my Audible, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes of this Susanna Mia chapter, and it's cool because that's some stuff. It lays out like what's going on a little bit more. We get to learn a lot about Mia and stuff, but I was just like, God damn it, get me to the Stephen King chapter. But yeah, I love that. And yeah, I enjoy this book. I know everyone loves to pick it out as their least favorite for some reason, but I love this book. There's a lot of good stuff in here.
Bart from Belgium is joining us, and he says, I'll be starting Holly when I get to bed tonight.
Oh, awesome. Bart is the one that shares a birthday with me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, birthday twinners?
Indeed.
Oh. Just watch out for wolves.
It's
they
good,
like twins.
It's a good Stephen King number too.
19.
Yeah, indeed.
On the 9th month.
Yeah. Yep. 1985. Unfortunately for me, there's no like mathematical way to
Make that 19.
get another 19 in
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I wanted to. Peter alluded to my shirt already. I jumped on and I think I've given them shout outs on Twitter before, but Cautet 19, probably one of the better merchandise people for creating Dark Tower content. I decided to finally pull the trigger. I've been procrastinating buying from them for a long time, but I finally pulled the trigger on a number of shirts. You'll probably be seeing them as the year progresses here. I've got a handful of shirts that I finally purchased, but this one's a fun one. It's the all the 8 Dark Tower, 8 Dark Tower, and it's in the style of VHS cassette tapes, like sitting up
That
on a
is 7,
shelf.
sir.
Is it only 7?
Yeah, there's no went through the keyhole.
Okay, so 7.
7 primary.
So I was right initially, but just wanted to give them
doubt yourself, sir.
give them a shout out. They've got all kinds of good merchandise on there.
I just pulled up their website. Currently, they have a 13% off through Sunday.
Oh yeah, so go give them a look.
Yeah.
Not only Dark Tower stuff, but there's also some good Stephen King stuff over there as well.
They got a Everything's Eventual shirt. Looks like on the main page, like under that banner. So I'm just taking a quick perusal here.
But yeah, I wanted to give them a shout out. I think I've given them a shout out on Twitter before, but I wanted to now.
Dude,
that I got
that's
these
cool. The
shirts.
Beatles crossing one that says Cautet, and it's them pushing Susanna and Oi's in the back. Dude,
Yeah.
these are cool, dude. I don't remember this place.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good designs. I mean, there's a lot of really good designs, but there's a couple that I
Dude.
really love.
There's a Derry Public Library one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Agamorphe says, or let's see. Oh, never mind. I'm missing a chunk of the conversation here. So let me. Let's see. Was there something else I wanted to finish up on the announcements? I got calendar. Got all the opening stuff, and then I give the shout out to the shirt. No, that is it. I guess the only other thing I wanted to mention was the year-end bash is coming up. Like I said, 5 episodes from now. It'll be on the 30th, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll be planning
Of
that.
December, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Let's. Oh yeah, and then also the Dark Tower omnibuses are now out for the most part. I think I think that when we covered it last time, I think it was like one was in early October, one was late October, and one was early November. So all 3 of them, I believe, the reprints are now out. So if you want to go grab those, you certainly can. So that's a lot of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in here. We got some news to cover first. And then we'll have, our normal news, odds and ends. Uncle Stevie recommends. Then we actually do have a Palaver section as well as an email to cover. So let's go ahead and dive right into the news. First up here, we've got a fun little picture, too.
Nice.
So Salem's Lot, it's been getting a lot of conversation online recently.
It has?
Yeah, everyone just wondering, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, where is this movie? Like, what's going on with it? I've seen all kinds of talk on Twitter, on Reddit, people just asking, like, what is going on with this movie? And then we actually got an article a few days ago on Halloween, as a matter of fact, from Variety, and it is from Tatiana Siegel from Variety, October 31st, 2023, and it is titled Warner Brothers Salem's Lot remake appears to be headed to Max instead of theaters. So Tatiana is working from a source at Warner Brothers, although this is not an official thing, nor has it been confirmed by Warner Brothers. She says her source told her that it is being quote-unquote jettisoned to Max despite the fact that it was originally developed for a theatrical release. I wanted to interject and say I would put in my perspective saying this is interesting because the guy in charge of after the Discovery merger is openly trashed putting stuff out on streaming services and says that will not be his strategy. He was very critical because if you remember, HBO is the one, or Warner Brothers was the one that put their entire theatrical
2021
I think it was
release.
They put
Wonder Woman 1984.
They put
Kong versus Godzilla. There's a lot of movies that came out in 2021. They put them right onto Max
Yeah.
for a limited time.
Yeah.
And then released them like digitally and hard copy and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he's been very critical of that. So this is definitely interesting. So then she goes on and says that a source with knowledge of the back and forth of what has been going on with this film over the last year or so, says that this is not a reflection of the film's quality, but due to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike, creating a driving need for content. Also, this is one of the few Warner Brothers film, and she also says the source says this is one of the very few films in Warner Brothers arsenal right now that is actually being targeted to being moved to streaming. So that does kind of follow with what the head of the studio has been saying, where he says that it's stupid to put everything on straight to streaming. So sounds like that is still their philosophy. But the thing is here, this is all from sources. There's nothing official here. In fact, I believe she reached out to Warner Brothers, and the spokesperson for Warner Brothers said no decision has been made about the film's future distribution plans.
Okay.
I mean, this is kind of I don't know. It's got everyone kind of excited a little bit that they were mentioning this. But then the first thing I did is I went through, skimmed, looking for a date, like even before reading anything.
All right, when's it going to Max?
Yeah,
then?
and when I didn't see a date, I'm like, okay. Then I went and started looking and saw things like sources and stuff. It's like, okay, so this isn't like certainly it's coming, because when it's Variety, these guys aren't some of the lower end film blogs or anything. This is a major trade publication. So usually when something comes from them, I put a lot of stock into it. But since this is citing sources, I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Two people in the chat. Agamorphy says, sad that it's not being in being in the theater, but I am happy that I will be able to see it. If they are starved for content, there's Batgirl flick collecting dust somewhere. And then Carol says, fine, just do something with it so we can see it. I agree with Carol.
I want to see it as well.
Just put it out. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when I first saw this, and it's actually funny because I've been responding to some people on Twitter and Reddit and stuff that have been asking about this and just basically saying, like, I have no idea. There's nothing actually going on. Because it keeps coming up, like I said. And a lot of them I just keep saying, I think it got Batgirled. That's been my philosophy. The fact they haven't been saying anything for so long kind of makes me wonder that. And then it was funny because the day that this came out, like an hour before the article came out, I commented that exact thing to someone saying, I'm sure we may never see it at this point. I have no hope of it. And then like an hour later, this article came out, and I was like, oh, well, look at that.
All right then.
So
she was like sending it to her editor as you made that comment.
Seriously, man. But then again, like I said, it is all just sources. And then for a recap, it was shot in 2021. It was meant for theaters in September 22, but was moved to spring of 23 due to COVID-related production delays, and then was pulled from the schedule altogether as we approached spring 2023. I think it was early this year that it was delayed because we were wondered about just marketing, right? It's like if it's coming out in spring,
we hadn't seen anything for it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
and what a good chance to throw Mr. Barlow up on the screen there. Let's see, and then the next thing we actually have is actually related, and it is Stephen King actually chimed up and talked about this film on Twitter.
Okay. The day after.
So this is from King's Twitter. November 1st, the day after. So his first tweet. Let me see. My thing zoomed out here. I don't know. Ever since, it's just I have this giant screen, and there's times when I don't zoom in, and it's just like all small, and I'm like sitting there squinting, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can change the thing up to like 150% zoom, and it's like a freaking teleprompter. So King, he had a number of tweets. There's 4 tweets that he put out talking about Salem's Lot here. The first tweet, he said, the Warner Brothers remake of Salem's Lot, currently shelved, is muscular and involving. It feels of quote unquote old Hollywood. When a film was given a chance to draw breath before getting to business, when attention spans were longer, in other words.
Oh.
So kind of interesting to kind of get King's insight. It sounds like he's seen it, which wouldn't surprise me.
He sees a lot of the stuff. So
yeah, they usually do screenings for him. Although we've heard mixed things about filmmakers and how they feel about that. Some people are very excited to bring their stuff to King. Other people are terrified and,
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people can just go into it blithely. I think you'd have to be like losing your mind a little bit.
Flying in at this point is just like, hey buddy, how's it going? Let's see, this is number 13. Here you go. He's like, just wait till we get to number 19. It's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah,
it's gonna have this dude named Roland in it.
No, that would mean it's decades away.
No,
that can't be. No, it's got to be the next thing.
The
Well, not
next
the
one.
There's actually something in between Usher and Dark Tower. We'll be talking about that in a bit.
Oh, okay.
So the next tweet, he says, it feels like a horror version of a slow burn movie like The Great Escape. It builds very well. There are diversions from the book I don't agree with, but on the whole, faithful. So
Okay.
that's interesting. And then tweet number 3, he says, best scene, Danny Glick in the hospital trying to claw down a blood bag.
What? All right. I don't remember that in the book.
Yeah,
All right then.
I don't know. That does sound pretty great though. It's always fun to think of blood bags in general. You know?
Blood bags.
It's just it's a little sack of blood. It seems like that in a vampire situation. That doesn't seem like something that would go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And then his fourth tweet, and his final tweet, I believe this is following up from the same thing. King doesn't do like the thread thing on Twitter where you like click the button and it like puts like tweet one and it makes it like a list. These are all just individual tweets. I don't know if it's because King doesn't know how to work Twitter the same way that most people do. He is an older person, so I would excuse him. Or if because the reason for that I'm saying that is because this one could be talking about that last tweet and that blood bag scene. But there's other scenes that could be considered the Glick scene, because he says the Glick scene could have been directed by John Carpenter in his prime.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's the blood bag scene or let's see. Is Glick is the first kid, right?
Yes.
I think so, because I'm trying to remember which one's the one that comes to his brother.
It's the Glick
It's
brothers.
Glick. So like that, because in my mind the
Right?
Glick, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because like I'm like, if that is like the Glick scene in the original series from '79, is one of the most terrifying things ever put to film. So King, not especially following up the tweets in a reply fashion, makes me wonder if he's talking this is the blood bag scene or a different scene altogether. So. Four tweets from King, sounding pretty good. He's alluding to it as like John Carpenter in his prime. He's saying it's a slow burn. Honestly, everything he's saying here sounds incredible. Along with that source that they said in the last article, saying that this isn't a quality thing. It's not like this is a poor quality thing that they just want to dump onto streaming, but they're just starving for content. And you know what's funny too about that reminded me is I can't remember if it was the one that was like an hour before the article came out, but one of my comments, I remember saying to someone like why I thought it was being Batgirled is because right now, I mean, it's basically a film that's complete. It's entirely done. It's got the name Stephen King attached to it, so it's one you may not even need to like publicize as heavily because it's got his name on it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Like you don't need like actors to go out on Conan and stuff to do appearances. Hopefully, it can maybe get some kind of buzz on its own. And I remember saying that with the strikes, by having a project that's done in the can, ready to go, it feels to me like that's would almost get it released easier because you can't, like there's movies that have stalled in production right now because of the strikes and stuff. This is one that's done, ready to go. You're starving for content. You feel like this would get it thrown out. And the fact that it isn't had me worried. And then, of course, this says that is one of the reasons it would be going to streaming. And that would make sense to me because I think not doing like your traditional publicity tour makes a little bit more sense for a streaming movie than it does for a theatrical release.
Yeah,
so.
if you're going to have a good theatrical, you want that publicity momentum behind it.
Yeah.
Before it releases. Have the people out there on talk shows and doing interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which they can't do right now because of the strike.
Yeah. And Bart says, sounds pretty good. Need to go reread the book. It's been at least 25 years or so, and hope the film would be that stupid damn thing is in the way.
Also be available in EU.
Oh, yeah. There's for everyone on my side. I think it's on, is he on your side too?
That's where my reaction button is right there.
Yeah, it's like right there. So like the bottom comment, there's like that bottom corner of the bottom comment gets covered by that stupid reaction thing. So
yeah, they need to move it.
Yeah.
They need to move it.
Yeah, stupid North Central Positronics.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one coming from the category Things I Never Saw Coming. Alex.
Okay.
This one is
what is Stephen King announcing he's running a biathlon?
no, especially because he just had a surgery that would preclude him from such things.
See? Yeah.
Official anthology book based on Stephen King's The Stand is coming out.
Oh. All right.
Have we ever had anything like this before? I mean, we'll get into what it is. So this is from Neil Bolt from Coming Soon on October 21st, 2023. Also, if this is not Neil Bolt's real name, if that's a pen name. Neil Bolt, it feels feels very close there. In fact, I actually misread at first, like when I was just glancing, I saw like Niebolt. Like, oh no, Neil Bolt. Oh my God, like that name, it's so close. I'm like, and it made me wonder because again, now you're talking it's coming soon. This isn't Variety. Maybe someone is like getting a fake name to put on their articles.
They're being cheeky about it.
Maybe. If not, if it is all a coincidence and that is indeed his born name, you have an awesome name, Mr. Neil Bolt.
Indeed.
So new tales are coming from the world of the Stand in the form of an anthology book from various authors. The title of the book is End of the World as We Know It, and then the subtitle is Tales of Stephen King's The Stand. The book is being edited by horror authors Brian Keene and Christopher Golden, and it will feature stories from Josh Mellerman, Paul Tremblay, Richard Chismar, S.A. Cosby, Tanarive Dew, Alma Katsu, Caroline Kepnes, Michael Courtier, Scott Ian, which is the Anthrax musician. So that's an interesting. And we know he's a Stephen King fanatic as well. But that was definitely one that I was surprised to see because I thought it would be authors. But hey, Joe R. Lansdale, Maurice Brodus, Wayne Brady, Brian Smith, Sommer Cannon, Haley Piper, Jonas Jans, and more.
The Wayne Brady?
I don't know who that is.
He's a comedian on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, I don't know.
He's had a couple different like shows. Let's Make a Deal, the Wayne Brady Show, and stuff like that. Dancing with the Stars he was on. Is he an author?
I mean, Scott Ian isn't, so is he a Stephen King fan to be the real question. So the project is actually approved by Stephen King and will introduce will feature an introduction written by King himself. No details, other details are available as of now. We don't know.
Holy shit, it is. It's that Wayne Brady.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently he's a Stephen King fan. Yeah, he put something on his Instagram about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Guess who gets to co-write a story alongside, and then it's got a Maurice Brodus.
Yeah.
Set in the universe of Stephen King's The Stand for friggin' Stephen King. This guy, me. Thank you, Maurice, for making my blurred dreams come true. Holy shit, dude, that's Wayne Brady. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, definitely a couple names I recognize in there. So, again, no details, so we don't know when it's coming out, anything like that. But that is what has been announced as of now.
That's crazy.
I'm kind of at a loss as to what to think of this. I mean, it's not.
I'm excited.
It's not Stephen King, so there's just part of me that I'm going to temper expectations of like, you know, I don't want to go so far as to say it feels like fanfic, but like I worry it might be, you know, because like The Stand is so fucking good that it's like to tug on Superman's cape. Like I would hate for it to come out and be something that was to detract from it in some way.
At the end of the day, it's the same thing as like an adaptation for a book versus the novel. The book's still there on the shelf. You know, The Stand's still going to be there in all of its glory.
Yeah.
If you don't like the anthology, all right, take it out back, burn it, and never think about it again.
Yeah, it's true.
But flip side, let's glass half full here, Ted. What if it is amazing? What if it just adds more depth to the world that there's so much of the country we don't see in The Stand.
And that's what in my mind, do you see most of these stories being the first half of the book?
I see this being
the outbreak.
Well, my anticipation is this is more of the outbreak to no great loss. Maybe even a little bit after.
Yeah.
What if we had a roving patrol from Vegas who was out on patrol before the final climax and the nuke going off? They were far enough away to survive. What if we got a story from that? You know? What if we got a story from someone in Florida or someone in Arkansas or North Dakota or Alaska, for God's sake?
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that are untouched. I would love one of these to delve into the international situation.
Yeah.
We got nothing. Give me someone who was on a flight to London when this all went down.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be on a flight, though. That feels dangerous. I mean, I guess the virus doesn't kill people that quickly.
Not that quickly, but no, they're on the plane, they land, oh shit, this has happened.
Yeah.
I'm stuck here. I should have only been here for 48 hours for a business meeting. I can't get home. What am I going to do? I don't know this country.
So, you know, it's actually completely independent of this, but I had a thought very recently about The Stand. Here's a scenario for you. Let's just say it's more like in the modern day, because I don't know about 90s or whatever. But what happens to the 3 people up in the International Space Station if the entire world was
they die.
Get wiped out? But I mean, they're not dead immediately. They're not going to die of the virus. Like, you basically have these like 3 or 4 whoever people that they're up there. Like, they would be faced with that choice of like, okay, we're going to run out of food or water, or we're going to be stuck here for so long that our muscles atrophy.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we're talking zombies and geekery abides, but I have to tell you, because you're hitting it so close to home. There's that book that I really like, World War Z. There's a chapter where they cover someone from the International Space Station, where they talk about they don't have the resources to go up and get them.
Yeah.
It's either right now we go get you and you come home after being up there. I think they were up there for like a week.
Yeah.
And like, that's your mission, or you're going to stay up there until we get the crisis under control. Yeah. So you're kind of rolling the dice there, because if they don't get it under control, you're going to die.
Yeah, and that's
and
like,
they talk about that.
I almost want a King written version of that person. Maybe it's the last man standing on the International Space Station.
He's watched the world die.
Like The Stand, he's watched the whole thing wipe out, and he's now in that position of like...
That is a horror story.
Exactly. And then like, does it end with him opening his helmet up to just expose himself to the vacuum?
Just accept it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that just feels like an absolute fucking terrifying horror element.
Yeah.
But I thought about it. Maybe it was the last time I read it, even, where I was just thinking about where it's like our world, like right now, like there's people up in the International Space Station
right now,
and they count on that cycling to keep
resupply, cycling, so their muscles don't atrophy and everything like that.
Exactly. So maybe that'll be included on here.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I'm just hopeful. I'm excited. Give me it. If it's not good, bummer. They missed the shot. And everything like that. But the fact that it's fans, like the fact that Wayne Brady is a fan, the more I look into it, the more it seems like he is a Stephen King fan. The guy from Anthrax is a huge fan. We know this. He writes songs about Stephen King stuff and everything with his band. So this gives me hope that it's going to be kind of like a love letter to The Stand. Not necessarily The Stand 0.5 or anything official. It's just kind of a love letter to it. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, Ted, I never read fan fiction. I always kind of poo-pooed fan fiction and everything like that. But I met my wife who has written fan fiction for different things, and I found some that I'm like, Dan, some of this stuff is better than some of the shit that I've read, like from published authors. Like, some of these people care so much that they go into like the details and they get it right. These are professional horror authors, helping people that are fans as well, co-write and stuff like that. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to give it a shot.
I mean, me too. I mean, it's my book.
The Stand.
Right?
You can't resist.
Now, my secondary question of all this is, if they were doing it for it, what kind of excitement level would you have?
Oh, dude, I would be bouncing right now. I'd be all over the place. You know how awesome that would be to hear, like, give me more from the Bradley gang. Give me more from the French slaughters and the town just completely disappearing. Give me those stories. I'm begging for it. Hopefully we get those in Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
But
also, I did want to point out, I do have a new Pennywise up there. Although he was so tall.
He's got a hunch.
He barely... I had to hunch him. And even then, he's like wedged between the top and bottom shelf.
Is that the one you got in Vegas? Or
Yeah. So apparently, for some reason, it's taller than the Tim Curry one. Tim Curry sits up there rather easily.
Yes.
But
Skarsgård is a few inches taller.
He's a tall motherfucker, dude. I think I was watching the newest John Wick, and I believe he's in there with the guy that plays Hadley from Shawshank. And I've always just assumed that Hadley was a tall motherfucker. I've never seen him not tower over people in films.
Yeah.
And he was like dwarfing him. And I'm like, okay, either the actor that plays Hadley is not as tall as I thought, which actually he's not. He's like 6 foot something, which I think he's like 6'1" or something. But again, in Hollywood realm, that's pretty tall.
That is really tall.
And if I remember right, Skarsgård's like 6'6".
Yeah,
he's a tall motherfucker.
Yeah, he's he's impressive, which is interesting because like Castle Rock didn't make him seem like big and imposing. He looked small and weak and very frail.
And he looked giant in it, but he's playing against children.
Right, exactly. So he's supposed to look big. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we got coming. publishing wise, which is interesting.
Does it have any idea when it's coming
No
out?
other details. We don't know anything about like when it's coming out. I don't know what else. Maybe length, what kind of page count. Nothing like that yet. So we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for that. Next up, we have the Boogeyman director is looking at making another Stephen King adaptation with one of his movie stars.
Oh.
This is from Eric Eisenberg from September 28th, 2023. So Rob Savage, the director of Boogeyman, has shown a keen interest in making other Stephen King adaptations. This is significant because it highlights a trend amongst filmmakers who have dedicated themselves to bringing King stories to the screen.
Flanagan.
Darabont. Yeah,
Sorry,
we've got all kinds of people that have done quite a bit.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So Rob Savage shares his in this kind of article shares his approach to finding new King stories to adapt. He mentions going through Stephen King short story collections and discussing potential projects with an actor that he had in The Boogeyman, David Dashmalian. I don't know how to say his last name. Who was also a Stephen King fan. And Savage says, quote, "I've been flicking back through a bunch of things, especially short story collections, and bookmarking a few of them. It's nice to being in the Stephen King club as well, because you get other people coming to you and saying like, oh, have you ever thought about Graveyard Shift? Have you ever thought about this? And then David Dashmalian, who plays Lester in the film, is a big Stephen King fan as well. And so we've been kind of been chatting about a couple of their short stories that would make great features. So,
Symbol Monkey, anyone?
Well, that's already happening.
Oh, right.
Yeah. In fact,
did I send that picture of the Symbol Monkey?
In fact, I don't think I got it down for my notes here, but I did see something that was anticipating the monkey going into production in January,
despite the strike, or
hopefully
the strike's over by then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's getting close to actual production. Either way, let's say they need to resolve the strikes, of course, probably. But either way, that means that this isn't just like it's going to sit in development hell for a while. It sounds like the monkey's getting fast tracked, which means
excellent.
We'll be in that theater watching the monkey.
All right, let's do it.
And then next up, we have Savage here. Another quote from him. He says, "Oh, the Langoliers is still." And then he pauses, says, "In every interview I can, I'm putting that out in the universe, and I would love to make that happen if we can figure out the legalities." He says, "There's so much fertile ground in the idea of playing with time and decay of time. There's a cosmically terrifying notion there that you could do so much with. That's nothing like any other horror movie I can think of, and that lends itself so well to cinema as well, because cinema, it's about manipulation of time. I think there's so much fun you could have there." So it sounds like the Langoliers is his one that he's circled. And then the article finishes by synopsizing the Langoliers as a story about a group of passengers who find themselves in a terrifying mystery when their plane accidentally travels through a rip in time. It also mentions that a previous adaptation was made in 1995 as a miniseries, but was criticized for its outdated visual effects.
Yeah.
Which, yes, that was pretty terrible.
Dude, I keep getting distracted by your shirt. There's so many fucking Easter eggs on there, man.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
It's off camera, you can't see it, but the bottom of the Gunslinger, it says Zoltan Features and it has a crow. Like that's just dude, that's such a Dark Tower junkie Easter egg to have that. The other one is the Wastelands has a $19 price tag and the cents is ripped off, so it's just 19. Dude, I can't. Dude, I gotta stop looking at your shirt. I gotta look somewhere else. I'm just gonna keep getting distracted.
My eyes are up here.
I've made my choice.
All right.
Oh my God! Drawing of the Three says gray meat.
Also rated R, which makes sense. Got lobstrosities that would make that rated R in the first 10 minutes. Still my pick for degloving.
You think that's where it's going to happen?
Lobstrosities, indeed. Although House of Usher, we didn't have any degloving. So
this is true.
Very, very, very strange.
This is true.
Very strange. So next up, speaking of Mike Flanagan, his next project.
Yeah,
we're all aware of what it is. But it is adding to its cast The Life of Chuck. It has added a number of actors, 3 actors in this case. And this is from Deadline, Matt Grober from October 23rd, 2023. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillian, and Jacob Tremblay have joined the upcoming Flanagan film Life of Chuck.
Dude, all 3 of them are amazing.
Yeah. Got 2 that a lot of people would know from Marvel things most recently. Jacob Tremblay, the baseball boy, will always be one that we remember him for, although he is no longer looking like the kid that he once was. That's what I keep telling people.
That's what the baseball boy would have looked like if he hadn't met the True Knot.
If he hadn't gotten to the van.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is I keep telling people is people keep picking him for Jake, and I'm like, y'all realize he's like 20 now, right? Like, just because like everyone remembers him from like Room and like Doctor Sleep and some of these other movies where he's been a kid, like he's
weird
grown
to think
up.
that Doctor Sleep came out in what, like 2014?
No, the book.
The book?
19 for the movie.
2019.
Yeah. So, although 2020 and 2021, that's like an 8-year period there in those 2 years.
That's what I saw a thing on social media the other day where it's like in 2 months it's going to be 4 years since 2020, and I'm just like, is there like 10? Feels like it's been 10.
Yeah, indeed. So this is an independent production, film production. It is not a major Hollywood picture, and it has an interim agreement from the unions and is actually filming as we speak in Alabama.
Oh, excellent.
We did miss that. We actually covered it last episode where the rumors were they were going to start filming in October, but we weren't sure if that was like what their plan was before the strikes or whatever. But no, they do have a dispensation from the Actors Union because this is an independent film. So yes,
nice.
I did skip some articles because this would kind of cover it that they are currently filming.
That's really cool.
So and then some of the financing companies, we have some of the people helping finance this with Flanagan, Molly C. Quinn, Matthew M. Welty, and Ellen Gale. There's a quote collectively from them. It says, "We are thrilled to partner with Mike and Trevor, which is Trevor Macy, on this project. Mike is a master storyteller, and we can't wait to bring his inspirational adaptation of Stephen King's short story to audiences." So the story is obviously from If It Bleeds, and it examines the existence of the character Charles Krantz, but it is in reverse order, starting at his death of a brain tumor at the age of 39 and ending with his childhood in the house he believes is haunted. And honestly, this was my favorite. I mean, If It Bleeds, I kind of discount the titular story because it's Holly, but it's the other ones, right? It's like, hey, what are the other short stories? This was my favorite one. The Rat, there was the Mr. Harrigan's Phone,
and Life of Chuck. It was only a 4-parter.
Yeah, and this one just blew me away because at first I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like
I got to admit
the story was like a fever dream.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck is going on?
I got to admit with this one is that I think I glossed this one.
Really?
I skipped over it. I don't remember a single fucking thing from this.
Huh.
You're describing it going in reverse and back to a house that was haunted, and I'm just going, did I accidentally skip this one? Like, accidentally skip, like, 3 chapters, and I skipped majority of the... I have no memory of this. Maybe I need to re-listen to it, but...
Yeah.
I do remember that I liked The Rat, and I really liked Mr. Harrigan's Phone. I thought that was a really good story. And then If It Bleeds, obviously, is the best one, because it does have Holly.
Yeah, and like so I don't count that one because I don't want to like compare. That'd be like too much of a ringer. But of the other ones, this one just like blew me away. Once I understood what the fuck was going on and that it was going backwards, I was just like I was there for it. So these 3 have joined the previously announced Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill we obviously just saw in the Fall of the House of Usher, but Tom Hiddleston is an interesting addition to the Mike Flanagan group. After Life of Chuck comes out, we might have to reevaluate.
They're not regulars until they've been in at least 2.
I mean, we're talking about Mark Hamill a little bit later, and he's only been in 1.
But he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But Tom Hiddleston, when has he not been phenomenal and
This
stuff?
is true.
So, all I'm saying is that down the road, after Life of Chuck comes out, we may have to evaluate some actors.
Some actors that have worked with Flanagan before.
And at that point, Mark Hamill will for sure be a repeat Flanagan person. So next up, we actually have Mike Flanagan tweeting out a whole string of tweets here where he basically is revealing the rest of the cast for this movie. This all came out on October 25th, 2023. I don't know if they had started filming yet or they were just about to start filming, but either way, this is the rest of the cast. It's interesting because I don't remember a lot of characters from that story. So he's got a lot of actors he's casting here. I mean, even the 5 that we've got, it's like, okay, 5, that sounds about right for the story I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering other characters
I don't
involved.
remember it at all, so I'm going to have to trust you on that one.
So the first one here, tweet number 1, he says, "The life of Chuck. It's been a long time since I've made a completely independent movie, and it would not be possible without the Herculean efforts of our producer, Trevor Massey, who has willed this film into existence, along with our partners at KWG Meyer, Quagmire."
Hey.
So tweet number 2, he says, "We're fully independent film in production under the SAG-AFTRA interim agreement. SAG-AFTRA has called these agreements part of vital part of their strike strategy, and are making this film on their terms as we stand with them." And then the third tweet, he says, "In the spirit of solidarity, I'm pleased to announce the rest of our ensemble cast, who will join Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Jacob Tremblay to the production as we kick off in Alabama under this interim agreement, or as we kicked off earlier this month." So it was earlier in October that it started. So they are probably getting close to the end of filming, even if it was early October. I don't know how long they're going to film. So tweet number 4, he says, "First, we're thrilled to announce a phenomenal Taylor Gordon." I actually have pictures. He linked everyone's IMDb, and I went in and pulled. Actually, with her, he actually pulled her Instagram. I don't know if she even has an IMDb.
No.
So he says, in her acting debut, so she has not been in anything before.
There we go.
So that is the first one that he has. Tweet number 5, he says, "An icon from some of my all-time favorite movies, the wonderful Mia Sara." And you may remember her from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This Ferris's girlfriend. Like I mean, she's probably been in some other stuff, but the second I clicked on his link to her IMDb and her picture came up, like that's Sloane.
Like, hey.
That's Sloane from Ferris Bueller. So next up, tweet number 6, he says, "I'm honored to be working with the wildly talented Benjamin Pajak." Which is a kid. Since we're going backwards, I'm sure we're gonna have some stuff in the childhood of the character.
Yeah.
Don't know. That's the other thing I will say. He doesn't really say anything about who these actors are playing. So I don't know. I mean, I assume Tom Hiddleston is maybe the adult version of the character, but I don't even know that, and I don't know where Mark Hamill fits in. I remember when they first announced Mark Hamill to it, I was like excited because I'm like, Mark Hamill in a Flanagan thing, and I feel like it was later that Usher became the thing where it's like, oh, Mark Hamill's in that, and it's like, okay. So, and did he knock our socks off too?
Yeah, he did.
Next up, number 7, and he says, "And delighted to welcome the dazzling Trinity Jolie Bliss, another young actor." Tweet number 8, he says, "I've been a fan," and this is an exciting one. He's been a fan for a long time, and it is, in my mind, legendary Matthew Lillard.
Hey!
He says, "I've been a fan of Matthew Lillard for so damn long, and it's an absolute honor to welcome him to our cast. He'll always be Stu from Scream for me, but he's done like the Scooby-Doo movies, and he's in the Five Nights at Freddy now. So that's an exciting one. That's really cool." And then he goes on. He says, "The star of one of my favorite films, and it's a joy to welcome the luminous Kiranka Kilcher." And I'm not sure what film he's referring to. He doesn't really spell it out. And then he says, number 10, "It is my pleasure to welcome Antonio Raul Corbo, another younger actor." And then tweet number 11, he says, "I'm a huge fan of Harvey Guillen, and I'm so grateful that he'll be part of our little movie." And then number 12, he says, "He's a great friend, a brilliant creator, and a phenomenal actor. We're honored to welcome David Dastmalchian." So there he is again. That was just in the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Well, he was in that Demeter movie too.
Last Voyage of the Demeter?
Yeah, because he was talking about the Boogeyman in the press for the Demeter movie when they were doing the publicity for that. So we were getting some insights from him about.
He did both of those, didn't he?
Yeah, he did both of those, as well as I'll always remember him from The Dark Knight as well. He's one of the I don't remember which exactly one he was. I just remember him being in there because he's got a very distinct face, and he's a great actor too.
What was his name?
It's David Dastmalchian. Malchian.
Got it.
Yeah. Number 13, he says, while this movie is already a welcome reunion with Karen, Mark, and Jacob, and there are, of course, a number of other intrepid alum who will also be joining us. So,
oh, dude, he's Polka Dot Man.
Oh yeah. More recently in Suicide Squad.
He's the Joker thug that Dent kidnaps.
Oh, that's right. That's
the
right.
one that has
the one that he's like threatening with the gun. And
yeah,
stuff.
he's about to kill him and everything. And then Batman stops him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. So then he kind of has this break where he mentions Karen, Gillian, Mark Hamill, and Jacob Tremblay.
He was in Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Damn, he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he is in a lot of stuff.
Holy shit.
He's a really, really talented actor. So now we're jumping into the Intrepid alumni. So the Mike Flanagan regulars here.
Yeah.
So number 14, tweet number 14, he says, appearing in her 9th Intrepid project, the incomparable Kate Siegel.
There she is.
So, of course, I would be shocked if she wasn't in it. Like,
Henry Thomas?
Like, not too long ago, I was shocked to realize that she wasn't in Dr. Sleep. I think in the last 6 months is when it dawned on me. I'm like, oh my God, he didn't put his wife in Dr. Sleep. Let's see. Tweet number 15. He says, I cannot wait to work yet again with my friend Carl Lumbly, which is Dick Halloran from Dr. Sleep. He was Augie in the new House of Usher.
Oh, he was so good.
He was. Yeah, he's great. Tweet 16, joining us for her 3rd Intrepid appearance. I'm delighted to be reunited with Annalisa Basso. So yeah, she's been in 3 things now. So these are all repeat people here. Tweet 17, joining us for her 6th Intrepid role, the phenomenal Samantha Sloyan. I just screwed up my text here. There we go. And of course, we all
know her.
We all know her.
Yes, we do.
What's the one that comes immediately to mind?
Oh, Midnight
Mass.
Midnight Mass.
I remember when you were like, because I told you, I'm like, there's someone that's like Carmody-esque, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it now.
Yeah.
And was I wrong?
No.
She is very Carmody-esque.
She is very Carmody-esque.
Oh, and at the end, you're cheering for her death just as much as Mrs. Carmody, pretty much, right?
Indeed.
And then
I got very happy with her.
She was one of those like digging.
Yeah, on the beach and everything like that. And I'm just like,
just the absolute joy in her dying. Indeed.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Also, she did it alone.
Yeah.
Like everyone else was kind of like, oh, okay. And they came together as a community, but she's outcast from them because of how her actions and everything like that. And then she goes out to the beach, and then the last moment she tries to dig to hide from the sun. It's like,
yeah. Then he says, sticking with more of my Intrepid family, I'm thrilled to be on the set again with Raul Colley.
Dude, yes.
Again, it's crazy because I don't remember this story being this character heavy, but he's got, and we're not even done yet, but he's got a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Tweet number 19, appeared in his 4th Intrepid project, the wonderful Matthew Bydell. And yeah, we'd seen him just recently in Usher. Tweet 20, here for his 3rd Intrepid outing with, his 3rd Intrepid outing with us, the exceptional Sarian Sapakota. He did a great job in Usher as the one in episode 2.
The youngest of the Ushers.
Yep. Tweet number 21, coming back after opening the curtain on Hill House, the brilliant Sadia Arika Ukalana. And I don't know what he's talking about there. Opening the curtain on Hill House. Was she in the first scene of Hill House?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember what the first scene of Hill House was. Like, ever since that
I need to rewatch it.
Ever since reading that tweet, I've been like thinking in my head, I'm like, what is the very first scene of Hill House? I do not remember. Yeah, I remember some of the early stuff in that episode, but the first thing we see, I'm like, I don't know.
First scene, yeah.
I'll be, of course, discovering that, rediscovering that here in a couple of weeks, as it is now my Thanksgiving tradition to watch Haunting of Hill House. So, number 22, fresh off of his fierce performance in Usher, my dear friend Michael Trucco. So yeah, he did a great job in Usher. I mean, everyone's done a great job. Joining us for his 3rd appearance for Intrepid, the magnificent Violet McGraw. And she was the one kid in Hill House. And wasn't she a victim in Dr. Sleep? Was she the first victim?
Yeah.
In the at the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then number 24, wonderful actor, friend, and partner in Quagmire, returning for a 3rd Intrepid outing, Molly C. Quinn. And then 25, and finally, I'm thrilled to be on set again with my dear friend Heather Lankenkamp, which is, of course, Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
so,
nice.
That's awesome. And then the last tweet, that is his cast. The Life of Chuck is a very personal story for me, and it's a movie I'm most grateful will be in the world. We'll keep you posted with more updates as they come. So that is the entire... This is a freaking stacked cast, including some new people, but a lot of Flanagan alum showing up here. So,
Oh yeah, a ton of them.
Yeah, indeed.
No Henry Thomas though.
No, no, he did not appear, unless he appears somewhere without being called out here on Twitter. Let's see. So that is it for the main
She
news
had
stories.
the husband that died in the car accident. The Writer brother was there to hear her story. The one that was in the
yes. Is that that must be the first scene then? Yeah, because she's asking him about like. She keeps alluding to Hill House with him. That is right. That is the first scene. Did somebody call that in the chat, or did you?
Carol said that.
Okay. Yeah. She's the one that her husband died, and she has like the stuff going on in her house, and she's like kind of fangirling over him a little bit. Yes, I remember that now. So that's great. So jumping over to odds and ends. Well, actually, first of all, I do have our little chart here. I've deleted a couple things. Nothing really new added, but there was something that we crossed off. Was it the long walk? Because that one seems to be gone. And then I deleted something else on the bottom. I don't remember what it was.
Salem's Lot.
Salem, or no, Pet Cemetery.
Pet
Because
Cemetery.
that's come and gone now.
It's out.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's no longer an
Sorry, I
upcoming-
want to clarify what come and gone means because we've had so many things that seem to be canceled recently. So.
Well, come and gone means it actually came though. Like
maybe.
So I haven't watched it, the new Pet Cemetery yet.
I haven't either.
I've definitely been seeing a lot of negative things on there.
Oh.
One thing that I am gathering a little bit, I have a suspicion they've made Judd a villain.
Oh.
Which is an interesting.
That's a bad choice.
I don't know. There's been some things I've been seeing, and it's one of those things where you see the shadow and you're trying to like see the image from the shadow, and a little bit from what I'm seeing on social media, I'm wondering if they made Judd like complicit in some stuff, which is I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't heard like an overt spoiler, but that's kind of what I'm picking up a little bit. So then moving on over to odds and ends. So next, first up, we've got the Boogeyman is now on Hulu and available on disc. So that came out somewhere in mid October. So you can go watch that now if you missed that. In
we
theaters.
just talked about Pet Cemetery is on Paramount Plus.
Yep, that is out on Paramount Plus now. Let's see. Next up, Tom Taylor, who played Jake Chambers in the movie, is potentially getting his. I would say he is getting this role, but it's potentially maybe his biggest break, as he has recently been cast as the role of Cregan Stark in House of the Dragon season 2.
Wow.
So I have to imagine that's kind of a. That's a big
role.
Yeah, playing a Stark in House of the Dragon. That's going to be a big one, I'm sure. Now another one from the column from Mr. Alex Trebek of things that we never thought we'd see.
Okay.
Rose Red is now on Hulu.
Really?
I gave up hope that I would ever get a chance to watch that again. That was one of the first things you and I probably talked about early on as Stephen King. 'Cause that was coming out right then in high school when we were. Yeah.
I remember watching it and just being like, "What the fuck is this?" It's the one where Stephen King's the pizza delivery guy, right?
Yeah. So I might have to jump on and watch that on Hulu because
weird.
Yeah. As well as Riding the Bullet is also now on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So we got some Stephen King stuff popping up on streaming services. And then next up we've got Welcome to Derry, unfortunately has been delayed.
Yeah.
It is no longer coming out in 2024, but will be coming out in 2025.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Not a huge surprise though. I don't know. With everything going on, it just seems like that's what's been happening anymore is delays. Sorry, I'm trying to see what slides I've got here. I think
You're
I
good.
left a slide from last time. Yeah, I did. Okay. Next up, this is an interesting one. So Mindy Kaling, famous for The Office. She's done a lot of other things, of course, but I'll always think of her for The Office because she was incredible in that. She was doing an interview with People, and she said, this little quote here was interesting. She says, reading Michael Crichton book or a Stephen King book when I was much too young to read them was so titillating to me, she says. It's kind of what I think kids now feel like when they watch an R-rated movie and they're only 11. So for me, it's a good way. It was a way to be rebellious because the great thing about my parents is they really did not care what I was reading as long as I was reading. Yeah. And I would say that's probably a truth for most parents. You know, most parents, even ones that are like super critical about what you're watching and stuff, I have never heard of a parent that was like overly critical of what kids read. Just especially nowadays, the kids read so little that it's like, if you're cracking a King
just
novel,
read.
Yeah, I doubt your parents would care much. So, That was pretty cool though. Kind of into that column of thing, Stephen King fans, and where they
got a couple of them this episode.
Yeah, and the one that I forgot to delete slide-wise was the Taylor Swift one, which was the other one that was Stephen King fan. So next up, we've got that's an old one too. I forgot to delete a couple slides. Uncle Stevie recommends. So King says No One Will Save You is the name of the movie. I think it is a movie. And he says brilliant, daring, involving, scary. He says you have to go back over 60 years to a Twilight Zone episode called The Invaders to find anything remotely like it. Truly unique. So there's Uncle Stevie recommends for you.
It's on Hulu. It's PG-13. Came out this year. It's an hour and 33 minutes.
So movie indeed. Yeah. All right. So let's I want to I think I'm going to go out of order here. So we do have Palaver next, but I think I'm going to go to emails.
Make sure we get it in.
Emails. It's the emails. Tad's going to read us what people wrote to us.
You know that's not getting deleted, right?
God damn it.
Oh, that's an early bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Peter right there. That's 6 years ago.
I mean, now you're just like defeated, though. I don't think you really protect yourself. You say things all the time.
Oh, I do.
I could use this to my advantage.
Yeah.
you just don't care anymore. You're just like the beaten prisoner that's just given up on all hope. Let's see. Going on. So this email is actually, and I you know what? Did I not? I swear to God I did this slide. Apparently I didn't do the slide. I thought I did. So I don't have a slide, unfortunately. It is from, and I believe they've hit us up before, but they called themselves Redacted. So it says, "Hi, Tad and Peter." Hi. It says, I teach high school English, and I was finally able to get King Story into my curriculum this year.
Oh.
We are reading The Body in class, and I'm having a great time teaching one of my favorite King stories. I think the students are enjoying it too. My question is, which King book should I consider bringing into the classroom, and which one should I absolutely avoid? I have a few ideas on this, but I want to hear your thoughts and maybe a fun discussion. He has more, or he or she has more. I'm going to stop there, though, because that right there is a can of worms.
What grade?
High school.
High school?
So,
okay, high school.
Yeah,
okay.
high school
okay.
kind of. I think avoid, I would say, go into the hardcore end. I don't think you could do things like Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery's a no. I would borderline say it's a no. There's a lot of stuff.
Think, well, just length. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you can cover a 1,000-page
Stand.
book. I don't think you can just because of mostly length. I don't think those are even like content much as much as it is like.
I think a good one for high schoolers would be Carrie.
Yeah.
It opens the conversation about bullying.
Yeah.
Which has existed for, centuries. Let's
Yeah.
let's have that open conversation where we need to put an end to that, and not saying you're going to get killed by a telekinesis weirdo in your school or anything like that, but still it's a good like kind of make you think. It's also pretty short and an interesting style too.
Yeah.
The way that it's written between post events investigation and as it's happening.
Yeah.
So
I would say The Shining is another no-go.
Yeah.
I think The Shining's too extreme. That one's
Yeah.
pretty intense. I was just thinking about that one recently. I saw someone on Twitter, I think, was asking what people thought was the scariest Stephen King stories. And everyone was saying Pet Sematary. I'm like, I think I would put The Shining up, as I think The Shining's scarier than Pet Sematary.
The Shining's scarier. The Shining is scary. I don't know about if it's scarier than Pet Cemetery.
It's pretty bad,
Dude,
man.
I don't know, man. The idea of losing family members alone, let alone them coming back wrong, there's something innately terrifying about
but
that.
I think because there's like the horror elements, Room 217, the topiary animals. But I think the true horror of it is, imagine being a kid and your dad is coming after you. Like that's because that kind of like that undercuts that element of like your parents should be the ones you're safest with and stuff. So I think there's an element of like even like. I don't want to say stranger danger, that puts too many wrong things in people's heads. But I think like the idea of an outsider coming after you is always scary.
The true coming after your kid is a lot scarier. Is not as scary as Danny's dad's gone. Yeah,
or mom and dad, right?
Yeah,
and it's like the classic stories back in the day. There's been 100 of them where it's like mom and dad have been turned into aliens or body snatchers, or so everyone has gone after that horror quite a bit over the years because it's the idea of like it's inside the camp, right? It's not something
you
trying
see
to
it
get
in a lot of horror films, but I'll tell you right now, dude, flip it on its head. It's the exact same for parents. Your biggest fear is something happening to your kid.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you right now, that's one of the reasons why The Exorcist hits hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's your daughter.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of the demon? How do you save your daughter? You know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's the same thing with. That's why I say Pet Sematary, because it could be your wife, it could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be anyone.
But
you can fill in the blank. Ted, you're not married and you don't have kids, but you could still fill in the blank of something there. Whereas The Shining, you're an adult now. That shouldn't be as scary to you.
But it's the same idea, though. What if it's you being possessed to go after your kids? Now it's an element of you're not only going to lose your kids, but it's going to be you that did it. So I don't know.
And that's why I'm saying universally, I understand why Pet Sematary appeals to more people as the scariest, because everyone's lost someone. Not everyone has had someone go insane and try to kill them or gone insane themselves. That's why I feel Pet Sematary is like, I understand why it's the universal answer, and I kind of agree with it, because I can tell you right now, man, there's loss out there, you know.
And ultimately what it comes down to for me is I'm just talking about pure horror of what I felt. I felt more horror out of The Shining personally than I did Pet Sematary. I get where Pet Sematary's horror is.
Yeah.
I get why King even said he didn't know that anyone would even publish it.
Yeah.
Totally see it. But for me, The Shining is the one that every time I look at it, I'm just like, ugh. It just gives me the chills. It's just
the thing.
There's some terrifying stuff. That chapter where he goes into room 217, because in the movie it just happens off screen, but in the book,
Danny.
Yeah, in the book,
you got to clarify who went into 217, because there's more than one.
Yeah, Danny going in.
Yeah.
That scene does not fucking relent, man.
No.
Like, it plays the whole thing.
He feels the hands. Like that's the end of the chapters. He feels the hands close around his throat.
Yeah, because he's like, close your eyes, count. Because that's what Dick told him, right?
And then he felt the hands close around his. Like, oh.
But that's just that's the coup de grace of that whole chapter building. Like the curtain moves. This lady comes. Like, it just.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills. It's fucking terrifying. Not to mention the topiary animals is fucking frightening shit. And I know the hard part about that one too is even with modern technology, I don't think the topiary animals would ever work on screen. No. Even with the best special effects on the planet, I don't think it's a special effects thing. I think it's an element of it'll always look silly.
Yeah.
But in the book, dude, it just doesn't. There's a horror to the way that King writes that's just
so
terrifying.
You're gonna get a chuckle out of this. I've been playing a game that I've had in my Steam library for a little bit. I think I bought it on Father's Day. I got gift cards. I bought a Hogwarts Legacy, magic, right, and everything like that. There's the Hogwarts Castle, which is where they're learning to be wizards. In the game, you're a student there, back in like the 1700s or the 1800s, somewhere around there. So well before the movies and the books take place. There's a part where I'm running through the grounds and there's a topiary dragon. Dude, the fucking thing came to life. Dude, I almost threw my fucking controller. So I understand where you're coming from with the topiary animals. It's haunted me. Like, I don't fuck with those things anymore.
No.
That's why if anyone's like, hey, let's go through this maze, it's got topiary animals, I'll be like, fuck you.
Yeah, beastie.
No, it's very beastie.
Back to his question though. Two that are in a row here, 79 and 80. The Dead Zone and Firestarter. I think either of those can be interesting. Interesting ones. And I don't know that there's anything in either of those that are like really extreme. Like, I think you could cover those in high school.
Murder of the mom in Firestarter is the most extreme thing in child exploitation, but there's not like the sexual assault that is in it, or the group sex scene and everything like that.
And Dead Zone, you have him killing the dog in the first scene.
Yes.
Outside of that, like, I think it's kind of an interesting read. And in my mind, I'm also thinking, like, what would kids like? What would it work for me as a kid with my imagination and stuff when I was in high school? And I think that's the kind of thing. The Dead Zone's like the kind of thing that I probably, even if I've never heard of that premise, I probably would have thought of that at one point, where the whole idea of you touch someone, you see their future. Like, that's just kind of a cool.
That is a cool
X-Men superpower, right?
Christine would be a good one.
Christine was the other one that I had in my head. That was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's incredible.
It's high school kids too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm trying to think. What? Let's see. The Talisman's a little long, but that.
Ooh, later.
Yeah, later be a good one. I'm trying
Not too long. I know you complained that it was too short. So
Yeah.
also a
indeed.
little bit updated, so it's newer and everything like that. So
Yeah, I'm just cycling through the list here. I think the problem is that with our list is I don't necessarily have like what short stories, because I think that's what I'd almost target too, is look at some short stories.
the jaunt.
Yeah, there's some stuff like the John. For me, The Road Virus Heads North is one of my all-time favorite short stories.
It's a pretty good one.
That's a good horror one. Oh man, I'm trying to think here. But going through
Let's take a look at a list of some short stories, shall we?
Yeah, because I'm kind of that gone through the
All
novels,
right.
and those are the ones that really jump out to me. But I think the big no's, I would say long ones. I would say your It and your The Stand are way too long. I'm assuming. I couldn't imagine trying to cover a 1,000-page book in a high school class. That sounds insane.
Mist?
Or your 11/22/63s or your Under the Domes
Yeah.
are way too long.
What about The Mist?
The Mist? Yeah, that could be a good one. Although you'll never get the good ending.
That's
in the short story.
No, but you
unfortunately.
could also you could nudge them in the direction of the movie and do that. The Body.
That's what he said he's covering.
Oh, that's the one. Did he say that's the one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Or he or she, I don't know.
They are covering.
Yeah, they're covering The Body in class. So yes, that's the one they're covering.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption. I'm trying to think of even that same short story collection.
Gang rape. I don't know about gang rape to high school students. That's
true.
let's,
I'm thinking of the movie. That gets pretty well avoided for the most part. It's alluded to, but it's never overt.
it's pretty bad in the
Now-
story itself.
Honestly, the oddball one in the different seasons is Breathing Method. The one with the lady that's doing the breathing method exercises for her childbirth and then gets killed in the car accident, and then is still doing the breathing method after she's decapitated or whatever it is.
I don't remember that one.
Really, that's the outline.
Which one is it?
In different seasons.
I haven't read that.
It's in there with The Body, Shawshank Redemption, Apt Pupil, and then the different.
Man, I must not have read that whole thing. What about 1408?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I haven't read that or seen it. So, did I read it?
Agamorphy says Tom Gordon and Eyes of the Dragon are easy answers as well.
Ooh, Eyes of the Dragon. Oh, Eyes of the Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's amazing.
Yeah, and now if you were teaching elementary students, I'd say Charlie the Choo Choo.
No.
Wouldn't work for high school kids, though. Yeah, I don't know. Any other ones jumping out at you there? I'm sure there's some short stories. Maybe that's what I need to do is get another tab on here with our extended content count and get all the short stories listed out there. Because I'm sure there's some short stories that would be kind of cool.
At Pupil.
Yeah, that one. I think that one I think your biggest concern there was how people would be seeing that politically now.
Mm-hmm.
With the
What's the one where the guy is in the morgue and they're about to perform the autopsy on him?
oh god, yeah, I don't remember the name of that one.
What about that one stuck with me.
That was a good one. Yeah.
There's the one where the guy can't touch people, can't shake hands and everything.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some, I think short stories though. But yeah, off the top of my head, let's see. What is it? What did you look up?
I just looked up Stephen King short stories, and I'm just going through the list. It has it broken down by year, so The Jaunt is definitely one that's a terrifying one. Oh, The Monkey.
Oh yeah, The Monkey.
Dude, Monkey.
Yeah, The Monkey would be great. The Raft is really good.
Oh, The Raft is amazing.
The Raft is a good terrifying one. Let's see.
There's Boogeyman. Yeah, I think those would be my ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's. Yeah.
I think Eyes of the Dragon. If you're gonna do a novel, Eyes of the Dragon's a great one because it's like King Arthurian, fairy tale kind of esque.
Yeah.
Thing. I know you haven't read it, so good versus bad, knights, kings, magicians.
Yeah.
It's right, dude. It's right there for high schoolers to read instead of reading the same old boring Arthur legend stuff.
Yeah.
Dude,
well, I
it's
figure
great.
there's good. I mean, Flag's in there, so I know.
No, if you want it good, there's a Prince Peter in there, which of course is the best.
I mean, I don't know if he opposes Flag. I don't know if he's good.
He does oppose Flag.
But Bart says, "Time for me to hit the hay and start Holly. I'll listen to the rest tomorrow. Bye, guys. Long days, pleasant nights. See you, Bart.
Bye, Bart.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, come back and listen to the Dreamcasting of Flanagan's Regulars.
And then going on with the rest of the email here from Redacted, it says, I also had a thought about the Dark Tower series being an allegory for alcoholism. We all know that King says that many of his characters are derived from King's own struggles with addiction. With Roland never really reaching the top of the tower, could that be akin to someone dealing with addiction? We know the phrase tower junkie is in the series often, but I personally never saw the connection to King and always saw it through the lens of Eddie's addiction instead. And that's same for me, actually. I don't think it's only been in the last year or so that I've truly viewed Roland as an addict. I just don't think I've ever perceived him in that fashion up until more recently.
Oh, really?
But he really is. I mean,
they call him a tower junkie throughout the series.
Yeah,
so.
but I guess I've never perceived that in the same kind of true addict way like Eddie, right? No,
it's one of the things that kind of rubs me wrong because he's such a fucking hypocrite when it comes to Eddie. Sometimes he's just he throws it back in Eddie's face in Wastelands or Wolves of the Kala or one of those, maybe even Drawing of the Three, throws it back in his face that he's a junkie, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you? Especially on rereads is the thing.
Yeah,
you're coming back around full circle. It's like, dude, I know what you did in Wizard of Glass. Fuck you, dude. You let the woman, the love of your life, fucking burn. And don't even talk about junkie to him, you piece of shit.
And your unborn child.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. God damn.
Yeah, I think that's a good take if you're going to take some of the allegory elements of it. I think addiction is certainly, even if I would go even beyond alcoholism and say addiction in general, because we know King's problems are not only alcohol.
Is every single member of the quartet addicted to different things? Is that also something to look at? Roland's addicted to the tower. Jake and Eddie are addicted to pleasing Roland, and Susanna's addicted to Eddie, and Oi's addicted to Jake. So it's kind of are you able to be your own person by yourself, or are you so connected by the quartet that you're doomed, kind of thing? Maybe there's something a little bit more there, that it's not just Roland that we have to look at, it's all of them.
Yeah.
Because Eddie tries to claim that they're going to go on, but why would Eddie go on? Roland dies, right? Wastelands. Let's say Roland dies rescuing Jake. Jake survives, and it's the three of them and Oi, and they go backwards towards River Crossing. Does Eddie really try to go forward? Do you think he does? Or do you think Susanna and Jake talk him out of it, and eventually they settle down and make a life for themselves?
I don't think they'd be able to talk him out of it.
No?
I think he's as tied in as Roland. I think he just traded one addiction for the other. Susanna and Jake.
So, again, there's an addiction that we can talk, another one for Eddie right there.
Yeah, but Susanna and Jake, I think Jake, and I don't even know if Jake, if I would perceive it as addiction as much as it's almost to me more like the father and son thing.
He craves Roland's
but that's
approval,
very parental. That's very child and father type thing. So I think that's those are the two I would question, though, in terms of the journey moving forward. If Roland and Eddie were to be taken out, I don't know how Susanna and Jake, I don't know if they keep going forward.
Yeah.
Because I think that Jake may want to, but I know Susanna wouldn't. I mean,
Jake couldn't do it alone, and he wouldn't go without her.
Exactly, and I don't think you'd go without her. I think she would say, no, I'm done. We need to move on.
Yeah, we need to find somewhere to live.
Yeah, and I think he would be okay with that too. I think that he would see the appeal of the connection he has with her.
Kind of a big sister / stepmom.
Motherly even. Yeah. Because I just in the Wolves of the Kala, there was the whole thing about Jake wanting to smoke.
Yeah.
And Susanna was the one that kept telling him no.
Yeah.
And eventually let him. But
very, very, very big sister mom-esque.
Yeah. And honestly, let's be honest. He's 11?
11, 12, yeah.
And she's from the 60s. Let's just say, back in the older days, people are a little bit
Junior high kids were smoking back then.
Exactly.
So.
I know I had grandparents that started smoking around 12 or 13, and that maybe it was earlier in time than the 60s. But I think there's an element of bleeding that out. There was a normalization of cigarettes back in those days, so I don't think she would have seen it as bad as even as Eddie. So
there's a show that makes fun of old timies where it's I don't remember the show. But I remember the joke where it's did you smoke your cigarettes today? No, Dad, I only smoked 1 pack. Well, you got to smoke 3. Get on it. And the kid lights up. It might have been Simpsons or South Park, one of those spoof, making fun of old time things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that and then it signs off Long Days and Pleasant Nights, signed Redacted. So thank you for the email.
Thank you, Redacted.
First email jingle in a minute. We've been at the bottom of the mailbag. Yeah, that is. Let me get back to where we were at here because I should have reordered things. So now we are over to the Palaver section, and we are going to be talking through the fall of the House of Usher, through the paradigm of Dark Tower fans. We all understand that the life of Chuck exists, and we totally understand that the Dark Tower has not been greenlit or announced in any official manner, but in most of our minds and hearts, the Dark Tower is the next non-independent project from Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
So having that in mind, I think most of us, while watching The Fall of the House of Usher, were probably thinking Dark Tower stuff in our heads.
Yep.
Or am I wrong there?
No.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do is look at the Flanagan regulars, and maybe one that is not a regular yet, and talk about where we see them in the Dark Tower now. So we've actually, in light of the Fall of the House of Usher, because we did a Dreamcasting in probably early 23, because wasn't it December 22 that the Flanagan article came out where he announced that he had the rights to the Dark Tower series, and then over that couple months we got a lot of information from him about how he viewed it. I think somewhere in that early 23, early this year, I guess, we did a Dreamcasting in light of that news. So we Dreamcasted the whole Dark Tower series in the Flanagan realm. But I wanted to just talk about the Flanagan regulars.
Yeah.
And just re-look at them. And also, honestly, maybe we didn't go as heavy on the Flanagan regulars in our last Dreamcasting as maybe...
We just did a Dreamcasting with Flanagan kind of in mind.
With some Flanagan flavor. Like, I remember Henry Thomas was in mine somewhere.
I don't know if he was in mine. Because I don't think I had even watched Midnight Mass, or maybe I had and I just hadn't rewatched Hill House, so I didn't have an idea for like regulars. I've never seen Blind Manor or Midnight Club, so
yeah,
this is my third Flanagan, so I'm starting to okay. He actually really does reuse a lot of actors. Okay, so we do. So when you suggested this, I was all on board with it. Like, yeah, we absolutely need to, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So let's go ahead and start at the top. So Carla Gugino, who played Verna in the Hill and Haunting a Hill House. The other thing is we'll say up front too is what I've come to realize as I was doing just prep in general, and this was kind of rolling around in my head, is the Dark Tower is a big series, but it feels to me like there's not a lot of characters in it.
There isn't.
Because back when we were doing the more regular Dreamcasting segment where I would just throw an actor out and we Dreamcast them, that's what it kind of really hit me there, just how limiting the Dark Tower series is with characters. Because we'd always end up finding ourselves in book 5 because there's a lot of characters in book 5.
It's where it really expands out to tertiary characters and side characters and stuff like that, and even minor characters.
Would you say that would it be fair to say that book 5 has as many, if not more, characters than every book prior to it in terms of ones that you would cast?
No,
I think so.
Book
man.
4, dude.
Oh yeah, I guess
you
book
got to remember
yeah.
Wizard and Glass and
I'm thinking of just the modern,
the quartet stuff.
Yeah,
not the flashbacks and Wizard and Glass.
No, not the flashbacks. I'm talking just everything from the opening line through. It's just like you got like speckled characters throughout. I mean, even when you look like River Crossing, it's a small.
If you want to go through the 4 books real fast, you have Toll.
Yeah.
You have the scenes in New York with Eddie and Jack Mort in Drawing the 3. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wastelands, you have River Crossing and Ludd.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's these
small.
Wait, I guess Wastelands does have New York with Jake. So you get Jake's mom and dad. But again, we're talking like
very little,
1 or 2 scenes for a lot of these characters.
Very little, exactly. But that's where I was kind of realizing is it's like, man, there's just like these it's like very like just you're with your main characters, and then a couple characters pop in, then a couple characters pop in, and then you get to book 5, and it's like you got a whole fucking town, and of course there's the flashbacks for Wizard and Glass, but that I almost feel like it's kind of outside of all things. It's the story we get told, but I never picture it as part of the actual Dark Tower journey.
Because if you're gonna talk about Wizard and Glass, I mean, dude,
it's a town as well, right?
there's quite a bit there that needs to be cast for Wizard of Glass.
Yeah.
And important characters too.
Yeah.
Especially for that story.
Yeah. So what do you think of Carla here?
I'm going first on this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, I guess we're just nothing too solid. We're just let's just flow with it here.
Gabrielle Deschain.
Okay. That's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
And honestly,
because she plays that so well with Verna. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah.
But she plays that I have secrets, I have things and everything. So, especially with Verna here, but we've also seen her be kind of seductive with Gerald's game a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I could see that aspect being used with Gabrielle really well in Wizard and Glass, and even if we wanted to go further and have more scenes with her,
yeah,
that's where I would cast her. What about you?
I'll throw one at you.
Okay.
Cordelia.
No. I'm telling you right now, no. Mm-mm.
I could see her playing Cordelia, man.
I could. Don't get me wrong. I could, but there's someone better on this list. And you know who it is.
Yeah, I'm sure I did, but I think she would make a great Cordelia. I think she could. She just has that. And that's the thing it's weird is I don't know that I've even seen her play what I'm thinking of the stuff you think of with Cordelia. But she's such a good actor, and like the difference between the mom in Hill House to this is
and
so,
Gerald's game too. All three of those are such different characters.
Those are all so varying that it's like make her just that miserly, just over the top fucking aunt that's just horrible in every way.
Yeah.
I think she would kill it. I think she could kill it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she was I don't know if you could hang a one overall MVP on the show, but man, she would have some sort of award for this Usher show, don't you think?
Yeah.
Her turn here was just incredible. I mean,
it was phenomenal.
She was so good in it, man. God, has she done any of the other Flanagan stuff?
She was in Gerald's game.
But not Dr. Sleep.
I don't think she was in Midnight Mass, was she?
I don't think she was. No, she's not as hardcore of a regular as some of the others. But every time she's been in the show, though, she's done an incredible job. So, I can see where you're talking with Gabrielle though, because I think I've always kind of pictured Gabrielle very much like her here, especially in this picture with the darker hair, the lighter complexion. That's kind of how I've always visualized Roland's mom. So, and imagine, what I'm thinking too is Hill House, where you kind of have the Joker thing with her and the dad in Hill House when he's older and she's there talking to him and stuff. Imagine that with Roland. Imagine if she just showed up every once in a while, just
torment him.
Like, imagine that being like the emotional thing that when these emotional moments come up. Not even that she even speaks like Court or Steven in his head, but that
he just sees her.
He just sees her like watching him in those moments.
Like he guns down Tull, right? He finishes, he reloads, he examines the wound, and he looks up, and there's his mother standing there on the back porch.
Or Jake.
Oh, yeah, he drops Jake, and he looks up to see the man in black leave, and his mother's standing behind her.
Yeah. Or when he's talking to Eddie, and he says, "I won't betray you again." And then in the book, it's like, but he wonders to himself immediately after saying that if it's true.
And it's his mom, and his mom just shakes her head.
And I almost even wonder, does she even do anything like that, or is it just like she's there and that's enough where it's like,
you're like, oh, he's lying or some shit, Yeah.
And she could, she could
convey all of that too. She's so talented.
She has been ghostly in 2 of the 3 things now.
Exactly.
So, next up, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm missing anything in the chat here. Got some.
Agamorphy said the man who would not shake hands with the short story I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. So next up, we've got Bruce Greenwood, which played Roderick Usher.
Your turn to go first.
The matriarch, or patriarch. I'm sorry, patriarch of the Usher family. So for me, I think, and I'm shooting from the hip here. I didn't go hardcore with like prepping, but I think I may have even picked him. That's the problem, is I don't remember my previous dream casting either.
Sure.
Stephen Deschain comes to mind though. He just feels like he kind of has that commanding presence. He kind of has that gunslinger vibe. He's got that intensity in his eyes.
Here in Usher especially.
Yeah, you see it in Usher a few times where he gets those. He's like this, not dead eyes, but like just fucking steel ice.
I just want to, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah,
yeah, yes, sir. That scene definitely.
Yeah.
So,
and let's just pause for a second and talk about his lemon speech. In Usher was so fucking good,
yeah, it was.
dude. Like Flanagan, along with well, he's defended himself. We covered that about attacking cats, but he also has his degloving. I would say his monologues. We should talk about Flanagan's monologues too. And what monologues are we going to see in Dark Tower?
Oh. Roland has a couple.
With Blaine.
Yeah.
Roland with Blaine.
Or arriving at the tower and everything like that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, for Bruce, I think that's who came to my mind immediately. Who do you got? Because I do have a kind of a secondary pick for him as well.
Jonas.
Oh, okay. Going a different route then. All right.
He's got the quavery voice, but he has that presence to him.
Yeah.
We saw here, the picture you picked for him is perfect for it. A little bit whiter hair, it looks like, and everything. A little bit older. Oh, this is just a frail old man. He can't do anything to me. And then he cuts your heart out.
Yeah.
That's Jonas.
And he's so good, dude. He is so good.
I could absolutely see him pulling off Jonas. I had him initially written down for a different role. Do you want me to tell you what that was?
Yeah.
Randall Flagg.
Oh, okay.
Initially, I was like Randall Flagg, and then I'm like, 5 years ago, yes.
Well, the Ageless Stranger.
I know, but I want a Matthew McConaughey kind of vibe. I liked Matthew McConaughey's look and age and everything like that. Bruce, I know he can be de-aged and he can be make-upped, but as soon as I started thinking about someone in the age of like this, like I said, this picture's perfect. It's not the one that I was using when I was going through and looking at people.
Okay.
I was looking at headshots mainly of what he looks like really, and dude, it just screams Jonas.
So here's a secondary pick for me.
Okay.
What about Callahan?
He's a good one for Callahan. He's a good one. I have a pick. Spoiler, I have Callahan on my list.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and another one, I'm just kind of like spitballing it a little bit. I wanted to shoot from the hip on this a bit for me. I did send you the list so you could prep and kind of think it through a little bit.
No, I don't have Callahan on my list. I changed it. I forgot.
Oh, okay. Agamorphy says I would like Carla for Gabrielle Deshane, so that's definitely a good one. And he also said addiction, definitely a theme in Usher. I have a few casting ideas as well. If you guys in the chat want to throw stuff out as well, we have already covered Carla, and now we're about to move on from Bruce. But if you guys have any thoughts too, we just wanted to hit some of the Flanagan regulars in light of the House of Usher, because the House of Usher, there were some fucking powerhouse performances.
Oh, there were so many good performances, especially with a lot of the Ushers getting their singular episode where it's largely about them.
Yeah.
So Camille, even though what happens early and everything like that, but she still got an episode to show
it was
her.
Very Hill House in that way, because Hill House did like the one kid per episode for the first chunk. So yeah, I do love that. So next up we have Henry Thomas, that we just discussed, was not in Life of Chuck apparently.
This is true.
But he played Frederick Usher, one that seemed a little bit measly, but later on down the road we found a little bit more sinister. And what a fucking actor, man.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the Flanagan stuff, not to mention it, he's fucking, what's his name, Elliot from E.T. and shit back in the day. But, oh my God, dude, this role for him just completely, like, broke the mold in my brain.
Dude, I do you remember me talking to you?
Did you not recognize him even?
Yeah, don't you remember that? I think it was on Geekery Abides that we talked about it, or was it last episode of Dark Tower Palaver? I'm like, Henry Thomas. You're like, yeah, he was in Usher. And I was like, where? He's like, you're like, he's Frederick. And I was like, what? I was like shocked.
Yeah.
Dude, never clicked for me. Through all, eight, 9 episodes, it never clicked for me that was him.
Really?
That was the dad from Haunting of Hill House. Never clicked. So I'm going first this time, right?
Yeah.
So this is the one I had for Callahan, and then I changed it because I thought his performance in Usher made him a great candidate for another character who pops back up and haunts one of our quartet members. Henry Dean.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Okay.
Henry, a little bit older, than Eddie. And if Eddie's going to be Aaron Paul,
Yeah.
there's your older brother.
Carol's asked if we're doing spoilers here. Sorry, was working last track. We're not doing spoilers. I think
Usher is kind of getting a little bit talked about.
yeah, I'd say light spoilers for
Yeah,
for
we're
House
trying.
of Usher.
We're trying not to do like full spoilers of the fall of the House of Ushers.
But there might be some though, as Agmorphy just said. Spoilers for Usher might fly here because there's almost no way not to talk somewhat about it.
especially
But-
with like some of the characters and what happens with them and what they do and everything like that. So she hasn't watched all of it. So
Yeah, but I definitely we're trying to keep it somewhat light
Yes.
too.
But-
We're not going like hardcore into like
yeah,
nitty gritty details. Just kind of overall
yes.
broad strokes.
And seeing Frederick here, the range versus the dad in Haunting of Hill House made me realize that, okay, yeah, absolutely, he can pull off Henry. And I honestly was thinking about the same thing as like what you brought up with Gabrielle is like hopefully he's there for more than just that one part in Drawing of the Three. Maybe he's there for a little bit haunting Eddie. And that's where I would use him that's where I would really like him to shine is dude, you can't do that. You're just a little baby. Like, look at you carving little baby stuff and tormenting Eddie. I'd love to see him and Aaron Paul work.
Yeah. It still like gets me because like the older dad in Hill House, they changed the actor, and there's still part of me. It's like, why didn't they just use Henry Thomas the whole
Yeah.
time? Like an adult dad, you just age him, use age to make him look
Yeah.
older. You could have done it. Now I love the actor they had playing the older dad, and I think he did an incredible job. But every once in a while, I'm still like, why did they just not use Henry Thomas the whole time?
Yeah.
So again, I'm shooting from the hip. For him, God, he's so good. I was kind of thinking, I'm spacing a little bit now. What I was, I just had one a second ago as we were talking, but
No worries.
I'm blanking. Let's see. Yeah, I've completely forgotten now. Well,
No worries.
we'll bounce
if
back.
If it comes back,
Yeah,
comes to you,
I'm sure it will.
we'll bounce
I
back.
that's why I should have written things down a bit, but I was yeah. God, it's bothering me now. All right, next up though.
Okay.
Rahul Kali,
Roland.
which played Leo Usher,
Roland. Dude, it's Roland.
and I think that was my choice last time we
Yes.
did it. Was well,
After Midnight Mass and everything like that, seeing him like with the gun and with the authority and everything like that, and then here with like the issues and everything like that the character has, yeah, he's made to play Roland.
yeah, and I'm still pretty. I still think he'd be a great pick for Roland for sure. This definitely took him a whole different direction.
Yeah,
He
but we saw range.
Yeah, the range.
I love
there-
it.
The range there was incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he did. He did incredible in this. And he was the one that probably shocked me the most, just because of what he played in Midnight Mass. The range difference between Midnight Mass and this were insane to me.
Dude,
Like-
okay, so you don't understand that Midnight Mass is him turning his normal characters on his head. Because that's not what Midnight Mass was. The abnormality. What he plays here in the Fall of House of Usher is closer to what he's played before. Video games, junkie, that kind of thing. That's his kind of character from stuff that I've seen of him before.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you have it the reverse way
Yeah,
that I do.
he kind of plays
Yeah.
that quieter, stoic gunslinger-ish because he's the sheriff,
Yeah,
right? Like that's
and
just
single dad. That kind of
Yeah.
that kind of thing that you have to definitely put out some more effort
Yeah.
when you're playing a single dad, especially one of a religion like that on the East Coast, where it's definitely dominated by a Catholic church and everything like that.
yeah.
So yeah, hell yeah,
I just thought of it
yeah.
for Henry Thomas,
For Henry,
Calvin Tower.
yes, yes, yes. Ooh, just because I want to punch him in the face. I want to throw a book at him.
I just got to that section not too long ago where
Eddie owns him.
where he's like, yeah, I've changed my mind. I've decided not to sell this lot of land to you people. And just like in my head, I was like gritting my teeth. But then it's funny because in my head, I thought to myself, I could just see you fuming.
Oh yeah.
Reading it like the first time. I don't know why. Every once in a while I have these thoughts and images where I'm just
Well,
like,
how's Peter gonna
I could just
react?
imagine the way you'd react, and I could just imagine you like yelling at your book, "You fucking piece of shit! You promised!" And like,
Yep.
I could totally see it. It's just you would be indignant.
I would. Agatha Murphy says Bruce Greenwood for Slightman the Elder.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
and even Henry, I think you could put in that
Oh,
role
yeah.
too. Henry Thomas, put Slightman the Elder, and for me, I've always thought just it's Ben Slightman and Benny Slightman. For me, that's the
okay.
distinctor.
Okay.
I know we have the elder and the younger,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for me, I've always thought of it that way because that way there is no confusion.
Yeah.
It's like
Also, another one would be for Bruce, just going in the Caliber and Sturgis. You got me thinking. Overhoser, where his wife gets killed, so he like rips his shirt and like bangs his chest. That'd be
Yeah.
a really good scene for him.
Yeah.
To show that, but also like supporting his wife and everything.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about Rahul here for Roland is I do know that people would complain that he's too young, and I can totally see where they're coming from on that because I think that most of us in our minds have Roland at probably closer to 50 in our
Clint
heads.
Eastwood kind of what you picture when you picture Clint Eastwood, not the 90-year-old Clint Eastwood now, but the 90s and 80s Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, exactly. So I do know that there'd be some people that might complain about Rahul being a little bit too young, and I can totally understand that. So I totally think that those are valid concerns. But for me, ever since Midnight Mass, I've definitely had a Roland vibe in my head for him. Next up, we got Samantha Sloyan. Sloyan, I don't know how to say her last name, but she played Tamerlane Usher, and of course, your favorite. What was it, Beth?
Mm-hmm.
Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing.
Go ahead.
I'm guessing that
Go
this
ahead.
is your Cordelia.
This is Cordelia. Dude, tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, the second you objected to my pick, I knew immediately this is
Oh,
who
yeah.
this is who
Oh,
you
yeah.
had for.
Oh yeah. This is Cordelia right here.
Yeah.
My camera's blocking the picture a little bit.
Oh, it's fine. It's
Okay.
it's just the edge of the pictures. I put our bigger cameras up because it's just whatever.
Cool. But yeah, she's phenomenal. She's also phenomenal at me hating her. Even in The Fall of House of Usher, like even more so than Midnight Mass. She rubbed me the wrong way.
And dude, such good characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like he wrote these characters in such ways that like they're all so fucking interesting,
Yeah.
so flawed. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I realized I didn't center this picture. That's why it's so far over.
Oh, I
to your
see.
side.
No worries. But yeah, absolutely Cordelia. So you're not picking her for Cordelia. What are you picking her for? Or are you picking two for Cordelia?
No. Cordelia 1 and Cordelia 2.
Yeah.
Can you imagine two of them? You know who came to mind for her as I was thinking through this is Allie
Okay.
in Tull.
Okay.
I could see
Yeah.
I could see her playing that.
Yeah. I would honestly be okay with that. It's fine for her to be a character that I don't absolutely loathe for once. So, dude, she's down there on the list of ushers that I absolutely fucking despise. Like, not a lot of them are like lovable characters or
Yeah.
great people, but if you rank the ushers, she's gonna be.
She doesn't fit the physicality, but what about her for Sylvia Pittston even?
Dude, I thought about it. I'm not going to lie. I thought about it, and then I realized there was a better. The other one also for her is she's not old. You would definitely have to do a lot of makeup for it, but she would make a fucking phenomenal Rhea of the Coos.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think with Rhea, a lot of people would want to go for like an older actress to have the old witch and everything like that. But you have to remember is that while she has the grapefruit, she de-ages. So is it easier to have a younger actor age up?
Oh,
and then be normal for those scenes, or is it easier for an older actress to de-age for those scenes?
I mean, 50 years ago, there was a 40-year-old guy that played the old priest in The Exorcist.
Exactly.
And it was only in the last 5 years I realized he was only 40 years old in that movie.
that still kind of bothers you a little bit, doesn't it? Like, it's like,
there's not
what the
one,
fuck?
There's not one time that they ever raised my brow of like, oh, this is just a younger guy in
Yeah.
makeup. Like, no, I thought, like, I think when they cast him in episode 7. Was Max von
you're like,
Sydow.
my God, is
I'm
he
like,
still
I'm like,
living?
there's no way he's still alive. He'd be like 150 years old. And I looked it up. And I was like, oh my God.
He's 55.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
so that's the other one for her, Cordelia or Rhea. But I could see her playing a really good Cordelia, the bitch. You're like, you know what we have to do. Oh, Miss Yo, so young and pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So next up, we've got Tania.
Sorry, what did you say was hers for you?
Allie.
Allie, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So Tania Miller next, which is Victorian LaCourcade. I don't know how to say her last name.
Victorine.
Victorine. Yeah. So
I have a new Susanna.
yeah. she's pretty great, man.
She was so good. And also, the thing with this one is that this is a minor spoiler. Her thing with her episode showing like the insanity. Dude, she could absolutely pull off the multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
Absolutely, she could nail that.
I'm trying to think what other stuff that she's been in, because I feel like I've known her in some other stuff.
She's been in a lot when I looked her up. So.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything that really jumped out at me, or if it's just more of, God, I swear to God, maybe I'm just mixing her up with someone. No, she's great though.
She's in The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah, she's in Bly Manor, but she's also in Sex Education, which I did watch that show.
Oh yeah, you told me that was really good.
First couple seasons of it, at least I watched.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm thinking of, is those two things, and then to hear. So yeah, but no, I can't disagree. I think that I can see where putting her as a Susanna could be great, because she's a talented actor for sure. So yeah, I think we're both in alignment there. Earlier on, I think before we started the episode, you were asking how many we'd be the same person on.
That's the first one.
Is it? No, we both had Rahul.
2.
Is that it?
I think that's it so far. That's 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had Gabrielle, Jonas, Henry, Roland, Cordelia, Susanna.
Okay. Yeah.
'Kay.
Yeah. So that's it. So just 2 so far.
Okay.
So next up,
And there's 15 of these, by the way, for everyone keeping score at home. So
Yeah.
two out of the potential for 15.
yeah. So next up, Michael Trucco, which played Rufus Griswold, the second executive after the father is no longer part of the company. He is the one that is the general guy in charge for most of the series.
Yeah.
I guess you'd say. Well, at least part of the series. So, what do you think for Michael here?
Okay, so what you see in the Fall of House of Usher and what you see here in the picture is not going to support what I'm going to say at all. But when I Googled him and I saw him with like short sleeves and I saw what kind of muscles he has and everything like that, dude, TikTok man.
Oh, okay.
He is built. Like
Yeah.
he's not like muscle like bodybuilder or anything like that, but he's tall and he's got that allure to him that he could be the descendant of kind of like a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then also like the eccentricities of TikTok man with the characters that I've seen him play.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I could see him being a good TikTok man.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I thought he might be a Jack Mort.
Oh my God. That's so good. That's so much better than mine.
No, I mean we're all just spitballing and throwing out ideas here.
Agamorphy says he's a coffin hunter.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's for Mr. Michael here.
Oh yeah, I could see him playing
DePape or
Reynolds. Yeah. I always forget which of the two is younger, because
DePape's the youngest.
One of them, because Rhea says it, like younger than even.
DePape.
Is it DePape?
It's
Yeah,
DePape.
because
we literally just covered that part in the book club.
Because she says it's even younger than DePape, which is around 25, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right. That's exactly what it says.
Yeah. So Rhea, dude, all the stuff in the last episode had you going, man. So yeah, that's my pick here. Next up, we have Katie Parker, which played Annabelle Lee.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think here?
Mia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm a mother. I just need my chap. Like that picture, dude. You picked the perfect picture for it. I love it.
Yeah.
The motherly, maternal, and everything like that she had here. Let's just transition that and just have her be Mia.
Yeah.
I almost did Tian's Jaffords.
Yeah, that's who I have.
That's who you have?
Yeah.
The wife?
Yeah.
It's Zalia Jaffords.
Yeah, Azalea. Yeah.
Tian's the husband. Yeah.
Tian and Zalia.
But I pulled up her picture on, again, I Googled each name, so I didn't just pull up their picture from what was in the Fall of House of Usher, so I forgot that that's exactly who she played.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the character that closely, but one of the pictures on there, she's just got this warm, sweet smile and everything like that. And I'm like, I just picture her holding like a newborn baby.
Yeah, which she does in this.
Yeah.
show.
So
You see her with the babies.
it would just be perfect for it. But yeah. Jaffords as well would be phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'm just very freshly through that book, so
Fresh in your mind.
yeah. Next, Matt Bydell, which played Bill T. Wilson, the husband at the Workout Empire.
Yep.
What do you got?
What are you chuckling about?
It's just this picture.
Oh.
So what I did when I was Googling these, I
Yeah.
literally just had the Fall of the House of Usher, and then I would paste their name in, and then see what pictures came, because I wanted to pull it from House of Usher.
Yes.
There's a couple choices for him, and I'm like, I've got to do this
Yes.
picture.
Good choice. He would not make a bad coffin hunter. Let's be honest there. But I have him as T and Jaffords.
Oh, okay.
Big, strong farmer guy and everything like that. He's had enough and everything. He's willing to stand with Roland. You know, got a strong jaw and everything like that to be like the one that I have the feather and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could see him being that guy.
Yeah.
Not just going to be like I'm going to roll over and let the wolves take whatever they want. He's going to stand up for himself. Yeah.
Okay.
I could absolutely see him playing that kind of character.
Okay. Let's see. So for me, I don't know why. I think I'm just going for range a little bit here.
Sure.
But I kind of thought probably, and maybe it's just a fitness thing, but TikTok is who came to mind for me.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad choice.
And I think he's got kind of an intensity too. You don't even see it in this show as much, but he has an intensity that I think you could pull him off doing the ticky boy.
It's a good one.
So next up we've got Crystal Balant, which is Morla Usher. She was what's his name? Frederick's wife. Tragedy.
Yeah.
Some tragedy in her story here.
Absolutely. I have her as Irene Tassenbaum,
Oh, okay.
the one who picks up Roland and everything like that. I could see her being like the rich, wife and
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yeah, I thought of her as oh god, I just blanked on her name. Eisenhart. The wife.
Margaret Eisenhart.
Yeah.
There you go.
Throwing the dish.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Not even that it really played into from Usher as much, because I don't think she ever played that hardcore, whatever. But I don't know. I think she's a great actor. I think she could probably pull it off. So
Yeah, absolutely.
this one might be a little bit of a tougher one, but we got Kylie Curran, which played Lenore. We all know her from Abra and Doctor Sleep as well.
I'm very proud of this one.
But I love her, dude. She fucking killed it in Doctor Sleep. And now, of course, Lenore. The second they said her name is Lenore, I'm like, oh god. Because if there's one Poe thing I know, it's the Crow.
Yeah.
So, or the Raven, not the Crow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Flag on the brain?
Crow's been on the Crow. The Brandon Lee movie's been on my brain recently. I've been thinking about watching
Fire
it.
it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire it
So
up.
the Raven I've been reading, or I've read a lot. I've
Yeah.
also have a one that of James Earl Jones reading it. That I have on my YouTube that just pops up every so often. Every single time it pops up, I listen to it. So the whole element of the lost Lenore. So when her name was Lenore, I'm like, oh god.
You're like, oh no. I'm very proud of this one. I want to wait. I want to hear yours.
God, I have it's just tough because there's not a lot of younger. Yeah, she's kind of young, right? So that's the thing. As I had a hard time with was, I don't know. I don't know if I've really thought of a good one for her, to be honest.
She's 17.
Okay.
Give it a couple of years for Dark Tower to be made, right? That puts her at 19. Make her one of the youngest executives ever of the Quartet or organization.
Oh God, that's a
Moses
good one.
Carver's granddaughter.
I mean, that's years away.
Yeah.
That's years.
Yeah.
Because
Dude.
let's just say the Dark Tower
Right?
starts airing in late 25, if early 26. Like,
Right?
You're talking the third or fourth season probably before we get that. So yeah, she'll be.
How great would she be as
That's-
Moses Carver's granddaughter? Like the little bit of hostility towards Roland and everything.
Oh yeah, that's
Dude, right?
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
I
for
thought
sure.
about it. I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah, She's great, dude. I loved her so much. I mean, I really, and I've said before, I largely put the love I have for Abra on her.
Yeah.
Like, not that I hated her in the book or anything, but the way she played the role in the Doctor Sleep movie has escalated the character for me in my overall opinion. She did a great job, and she did a great job in this story too. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good one. Next up, let's see. Agamorphy, I'm not sure. Laugh or Cad. Yep, Tien for Susanna. I guess I'm not. Maybe I'm disconnected there.
Tania Miller.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, Tania.
Okay, next up.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Next up, we have Carl Lumbly, which is August Dustman.
We got the granddaughter. Here's the grandfather.
Moses Carver.
Here's Moses.
Which,
dude, it's made. It's like made for it, right?
yeah,
it's so perfect.
Yeah.
I had Kylie written down as young Susanna.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
the flashbacks for Susanna and everything like that. And then I was like, then I went down to Carl and I did Moses Carver and I went, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the chemistry those two would have as grandfather and granddaughter
yeah.
at the tech corporation?
I kind of had that in mind as well, because that is one of my absolute favorite minor characters in the Dark Tower.
Is Moses.
Yeah. So but you know another one, and I'm literally on I was listening to this earlier as I was waiting to start this episode.
Yeah.
God Bomb Preacher.
You give me a God bomb.
Could you imagine him just doing that, dude? I think you do a great job for that.
And now you got to get out of here, son, before the officer so-and-so arrives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally on that spot right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Last thing I listened to was Jake checking Oi for injuries.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got the brilliant Mark
The
Hamill
immortal.
as Arthur Pym. I think we both discussed off air that we think he's probably the MVP of the show.
So
Not even the biggest part by any means.
So good.
But every single scene he was in, I feel like I couldn't take my eyes off of him. I was like, he's incredible.
Tell me everything.
Yes.
Just like, the voice and everything. It was,
So good.
Oh.
So you got to go first. This is the one I'm proudest of, I think. Or,
Right. I'm not changing my answer. He's still going to be Blaine, and he's going to be phenomenal.
okay.
He is going to be amazing as Blaine. This just reiterates it and everything. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be a phenomenal Blaine.
I'm interested to see what you'll think of mine.
Okay?
So I've never would have thought of this, but now with this, it pulled it in. I think for Mark Hamill now, Court.
Oh, dude. A little bit smaller than
he's
what you would
he's
expect.
not the barrel-chested big guy, but like with the way he played this role, could you not imagine him? And then
like menacing.
yeah, and you could see him play. I mean, and we know he worked out, got in shape for the Star Wars newer movies and stuff. And I just also then can you imagine long term as his voice is throughout the series in Roland's head, Mark Hamill voicing this voice.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm a little trepidatious about the physical attributes because Court was supposed to be physically imposing.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But I mean, to anyone, any kid, an adult's imposing.
Yeah, it's not the most obvious pick, but like after watching the show, I'm like, dude, I could see him playing fucking Court. Which
he pulled off the first time. This is the first time I've ever seen Mark Hamill really pull off like a physical menacing presence. Like he's had voice menacing locked down for 30 years.
For a long time.
But physical presence, like even like this picture here, this looks like a character you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with him.
Yeah, and I think and honestly, maybe it even goes into the Jedi thing a little bit. But I think for me, it's like changing Court up to almost being that more like samurai, where he doesn't look physically imposing, but he'll
your
fucking
ass.
destroy you.
Yep.
And he won't even like break a sweat. You know, it's like
the whole like. Like and then the guy slices in half.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I thought in my head is like you can kind of play him as that samurai where it's like he doesn't look that tough, but again, and also he's going to be dealing with like 14-year-old children for the most part. I mean, he's dealing with for the most part, but it's like make him in such a menacing way to where it's just like you don't.
And you give him the spade that he has.
Yeah.
And that becomes his samurai sword, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where he's just so adept with it.
Yeah.
Like he's able to take Court and just like by the back of his neck, put his face in the mud and like maggot.
Yeah.
Dude, him saying maggot.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even think about that, but like the gravelly voice that he has in Usher.
Oh yeah.
Maggot.
Yeah.
I need to get Mark Hamill. We need to get AI so we can hear Mark Hamill say maggot
in the way of
in that voice. Yeah,
from Usher. We're running close out of time here.
2 left.
We got 2 left. Yeah, we got Kate Siegel, which of course the classic Flanagan role. Or actor. She played Camille Lee Espanier. So yeah, I mean, she's one that we probably both had in mind because she's probably the ultimate Flanagan actor.
I have her a little bit later. I have her as Zalia Jaffords.
Okay.
So her and Matt Bydell, Bill T. Wilson, that would be the Jaffords there. I like that combo for the Jaffords who are done with the shit and going to stand up and fight.
Yeah.
I like that she's got that strong presence for the I'm going to fight with my husband kind of thing.
Yeah. And she's another one I struggle with a bit just because, like, again, I think we're just running out of roles.
Yeah.
Almost. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, you could easily throw her into something like Sylvia Pittston, which she would do an incredible job with.
She wouldn't make a bad Cordelia.
No. She
would not make a.
It's mostly that I've run out of some of the characters that I've given them to other people. But yeah, I don't know, man. She's so incredible. I think she could fit in a lot of places, including gender bent roles potentially. And that's what I was trying to think to myself, but none of them are really coming to mind.
What about if we replace Father Callahan with her?
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like that.
I don't know, because minister versus like a
it wouldn't be Catholic.
priest.
Yeah, it would have to be something like a few different places that have
Dude, she would make a really good Allie.
Yeah,
she would not make a bad Allie.
The problem is that I've already given the role away. But Roland's mom as well,
Gabrielle, yeah,
she could play that role as well. And I mean, let's go nuts though. I mean, I haven't even cast the role yet. What about her as Rhea?
Yeah, we talked about it.
We know that she can act her fucking ass off. And just imagine make-upping her up, and then when the ball does glam her down young, imagine just her being this weathered, disgusting creature, and then turns into this.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Yeah, I agree 100% because that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
it's like you have a younger actress and you just age her up, and then when it's the ball glamming, you get that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That would be stark comparison. Then the last one we got is the amazing Robert Longstreet. He played William Longfellow.
William Longfellow.
He was so he was the dad of the Usher siblings. The guy's grandpa for the larger clan. But kind of illegitimate. But he's incredible. He's done a lot of Flanagan stuff. I really feel like he's like the modern Stephen Root. Just like that brilliant character actor that can show up anywhere and just fucking kill it. Yeah. I feel like he's like the modern and not that Stephen Root's like not of our time, because Stephen Root's still doing his thing. And I feel like when Stephen Root steps aside, this will be, Robert here could be the one that could replace him. What do you think?
This is my court.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that.
He's got kind of the physicality of what I picture, not to mention the round face.
Yeah.
That's what I've always pictured with Cord, is that round face brute of a man, and he's kind of even plays that a little bit here in the Fall of House of Usher. So I could definitely see him pulling off the cord and what do you want, maggot? Kind of guy.
Yeah. I did already give it away the role of Calvin Tower, but I think he could be an incredible Calvin Tower.
I think it would be a better Deepno.
Deepno, I've always just pictured being older. I think you'd have to get a guy that's 20 years older than this guy, maybe. In my mind, to me, Deepno's like in his 70s.
John Cullum.
Yeah, which I'm currently just left him a little bit ago.
I love John Cullum.
Yeah, Cullum's great. He's an incredible one though. But that is it. We just wanted to talk about it in light of the House of Usher, which is an incredible show. Highly recommended to everyone. Some people are calling it Flanagan's best. I remove myself from making calls like that until the shows have been out a little bit longer, and I allow hype wise, I could just immediately jump to it. Yes, it's better than everything. Then down the road, I'll be like, I don't know. For me,
Especially after like a rewatch too.
yeah, exactly.
Give it 6 months and then rewatch it.
But it's strong enough that I'm not rejecting it because like, oh no, it's nowhere near as good as Hill House or Midnight Mass or whatever. No, for me, it's more like, no, I just gotta not be hasty. But quality wise, this was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
So, that is it for this episode.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. Let's go ahead. I think in the chat, Agamorph, I think he was talking about Rahul. I think is who he's talking about for a Coffin Hunter, which I could see that too.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the closing stuff. If you want to subscribe to us, do that on any podcasting service of your choice. Stream us on Spotify. Join us for the live streams here at YouTube, youtube.com/DarkTowerPalaver. If you want to, if you're here with us on YouTube, we'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Also, if you're watching in the future, if you want to drop a comment in and be part of the conversation, you could always do that. I feel like I never really say that, but we talk to the people here in the live chat, but I do try to respond or whatever as much as I can in the chat or in the comments as well if you're watching in the future. And then, because this will be a funny one to watch in the future too, after they've actually cast Flanagan's
after the show's out,
and see how what we hit, what we didn't, and like how silly maybe some of them look when it's down the road and Dark Tower has completed its run, and it's like, oh, it was like this person's so obviously rolling. How the fuck can you pick this other person?
Yeah.
So, Then if you want to find the show notes, you can do that at darktowerpalaver.com. I have a link for all the articles that we covered in this episode if you want to read them in full. And then you can find things like the questions for new listeners and stuff as well. Then if you want to support the show, you can sign up over at Patreon at patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. We have any number of levels there. They all get you access to the monthly hangouts as well as the 24/7 chat where you can chat with us at any time, send emojis to Peter anytime. It's always fun.
Send dad jokes to Ted.
No, that is not allowed. And then if you want to contact us, Peter can let you know the ways to do that.
Best way is through email, darktowerpalaver@gmail.com or show@darktowerpalaver.com. And then our social media is Twitter. It's @DarkTowerPod. That's @DarkTowerPod. Facebook is facebook.com/DarkTowerPalaver. Instagram is DarkTowerPalaver, all one word, no spaces. And then check out our merchandise. It's tpublic.com/users/DarkTowerPalaver.
Also, Redacted did send it to the new email address, too. I forgot to mention that. So, definitely awesome. But we will be back in a fortnight from now where we will be covering the next chunk of Wizard and Glass. We'll see if Rhea is as horny in this next section as she was in the last one. But yeah, we are now in the heat of it. We're into the flashback portion. Excited for that. But we will be back in a fortnight for that. And of course, got to make sure that he has his say. We haven't had him pop in. But yeah, we'll sign off as we always do by saying long days and pleasant nights.
Long days and pleasant nights, folks.
All right, thank you guys all on the live stream. You guys are awesome. Love having you as part of the conversation. It's always fun. We'll be back again in a fortnight where we'll be hitting up the next chunk of Wizard and Glass. Do we have one more book club for the year or two?
I think we're just going to do one is what we said.
No, we do have two because there's 3 episodes in. So we have next time, which is there's only 2.
The mid-December one is the book club.
Yeah. No,
the year-end bash is going to be roundtable.
Yeah, no, it's because I forgot to. I have a thing and I just hide after the dates pass, and I hadn't hidden the last one yet, so it looked like 3. Yeah, there is only 2 left, so we got one more in a fortnight, and then in mid-December we'll have our last one for 2023.
Yeah,
we'll be into 2024. Can't wait for that. Hopefully and wouldn't it be very fitting if in December of 22 or 23 we got some sort of announcement for Flanagan. But we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye, everyone.